Good evening, people. Hello, people. I look like shit because I've had very little sleep over the last few days. You're in charge. You're live on screen, by the way. Yeah.
Hi, everyone. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, get some clothes on. Oh. Here we go. Hello, Joe. How you doing? I don't know how many people have been in the house tonight. It's Christmas. I've come on, but how many people have been here, I'm not sure. You doing all right there, though, Joe? Ryan's at a party, so hopefully he'll come on his mobile. If not, you're going to have me here. We had Christmas lunch today in Queen Vic in Soy 6, but we was out last night. I've had 2 hours sleep, Joe. Seriously, I'm knackered. If you look at Ryan's video of today, the Eat Out Patio Christmas dinner, if you look at me, I look like shit. It's because I felt like it as well. But the food today was excellent. We had an excellent lunch. 750 baht. I'm now sitting here now with a plate of olives and a plate of baby spring onions. Very nice. Two people in the house. 5 thumbs up. Anyone want to give me a thumbs up? Yeah. So last night, my neighbour, which is about 100 metres away from where I live, I live in a condo block. My nearest neighbour is 100 metres away. And we're trying to buy the apartments between here and that neighbour. Well, they was having a Christmas party, and their friends come over from Pattaya, and they had a 2-hour wait for a taxi to return back to Pattaya. So I volunteered. I said, look, I'll do you a favour and I'll drop your friends off for you because I hadn't had any drink or drugs. So I took their friends to Pattaya, and I thought, well, while I'm there, I might as well go to Sexy Bar, go and see Mitch and Robert Mack and Rachel and Carbo. And earlier on in the evening, there was James was there and a few other people. So I thought I might as well just go along to the party to see what was going on. Cheers, Joe. That's how many people come out, I don't know. Anyway, so went to the party last night. The party was absolutely mad. I'm going to see if I can find some photographs from yesterday. Let's have a look. So I will look to see if I can find the photographs. Oh, here we go. Oh, no. Oh, it looks like I haven't sent them. Oh, that's a shame. Oh, never mind. Never mind. Right, so unfortunately, I've got no photographs at the moment. Here's Ryan. Hello, Ryan. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing well. Can you hear me?
Waiting too long there, was you? Wasn't waiting too long?
Yeah.
I was just trying to download. Hello, Thai Nomads. Fellow Nomad. How you doing? Swatting Cup. I'm sure my friend here, Ryan, can say it a lot better than me. He's having Thai lessons. He's near on fluent.
Oh, you're too kind. That's BS. So when you know I can only cuss and Thai pretty well nowadays.
No, your Thai is very, very good, Ryan. I'm very impressed, you know.
Trying to figure out.
Hello, Richard. How you doing? Happy Christmas to you. Go Niners. I've got a photo. I'm putting my Christmas. I'm putting the Christmas one together now. Ryan's been cut off.
No, there we go.
How you doing? Oh yeah. It's not that busy, is it? It's not that busy.
No, it's not busy at all. How can you hear me? Can you hear me well?
I can just about hear you.
All right. No, it's. I'm out on Soy 5 Pratamac right now. It's not busy here at all, but I've heard a bunch of people jumping on cabs right now saying, "Take me down Soy Chiapoon. It's take me down Patia." So everybody is definitely going in there. But
It looks really busy, Ryan.
yeah.
Well, thanks for doing the video today, Ryan.
Oh, not a problem.
Next time I have no sleep, can you do it in fucking 7:20 or something? Or,
Yeah.
oh, like shit, man. I still look like shit. Yeah, so if anyone wants to come on, there's the link there.
Yeah, please, because I'm getting ready to get out of here in a little while.
It looks like that's your food, is it? Is that your food?
I still can't even eat. Not even close yet.
But that food today, that Christmas meal, I'll go back there again for a Christmas dinner, you know?
I'd go back there for a Sunday dinner.
You buy me more pizza?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, tomorrow.
Okay.
Tomorrow.
I want some pizza,
yeah. But how's the video coming out? It's coming out pretty well. Did Tom leave us again? Yeah, Tom left us.
My daughter's decided she wants pizza at it's 8 o'clock at night. She got school tomorrow. No chance. Did you see my plate of olives and onions?
Oh, lovely.
Oh, they're very nice. They're European, you know.
Yeah. But I am going to probably head on out. Just thought I'd stop in, give everybody a sneak peek real quick of what's going on the street.
Cheers, Ryan.
Yeah.
I might as well do the charts then.
Yeah, go ahead, do the charts. And we'll see everybody next week.
Yeah, Ryan, I'll see you next week. I'll catch up Tuesday. We'll catch up with you tomorrow because we need to know whether we're dining on Tuesday.
Gotcha.
Robert Mack's coming as well on Tuesday.
Oh, that's
so
lovely.
We need to just think of somewhere, you know.
Yep. I'll come up with something.
We got a hideaway. You got all those steakhouses there. You've got Don Pepe, the Spanish place as well.
Yep. I've got
Wherever.
a few up my sleeve still, so.
Okay, no problem.
All right.
Right. Catch you later. Ciao. Well, it's nice seeing Ryan there. I'm gonna do the charts. Let's get these charts going because I'm not sure how many people will come in tonight because it is Christmas, isn't it? Right, just got to share a screen, guys. This is the one on from Richard's channel yesterday. As we all know, well, there's not anyone in the chat, but this is for people who are on replay as well. Right, so here we go. Share screen. It's always awkward when you do the show by yourself. It's really tough. I'm not trying to make you feel guilty, Ryan. Yeah, so when you look at this chart here, yeah, it looks like to me that there's not going to be a lot of movement over this week between now and the 1st, 2nd of January. So the way I'm looking at it is, if I was going to change money this week, I'm looking to get, if I could get 34.8, then I'm quite happy, you know. Now, the way to do that is through Wise. I don't have a link in my description, but Joe or Richard, if you want to put a link in, if 3 people sign up, you get £50, or $50, $100, whatever it is. But it's good for you guys. I don't own no additional income. I just earn my money through trading. Yes, I'm looking at this. I'm looking at very little movement over the next 10 days. For next year, though, I'm really looking at the dollar still being very, very strong. The dollar will definitely return to 38, and if not 40. That's the way I see it. Crypto and Bitcoin for 2023. You need to stay away from it. It's looking dreadful. It's this whole SBF guy, whatever his name is, the Ponzi scheme guy. He's just destroyed that market. And I don't think it's going to recover. And to be honest with you, I don't think it's a bad thing as long as you ain't going to lose too much money. I know, like people like Joe, he's got his money out. I've got one Bitcoin at 48,000. I'm just stuck there. I'll give that to my daughter. I can't see it going back to 48 for 5 years. That's the way I feel. I can't really see the chat or anything, just to let you know, guys. And this one here, this is the way I trade. So this is how I earn my money. I don't use any leverage, but I wanted to bring this up to show you how I actually earn my money here. So if you see where the arrow is here, I come in here because this is what the chart's telling me, these crossovers, yeah? They're telling me when to buy. So these circles at the bottom, they tell me, I don't put these, I put the circles on, yeah? But all this chart, this is all made up. So these charts run live like this. So when I get these crossovers, I know when it's time to go in and come out. That's exactly how I earn money. So going from here to here, there's like four trades, but I've actually done 6 this year. And although this doesn't look like a lot here, although this doesn't look like a lot here, that's like $100 an ounce. So in my case, where I'm buying like 180 ounces, it's over the year, it works out quite a good income. So on these 4 trades here, that's exactly, and this is called swing trading with no leverage. So I'm not gambling on this. This is cash. This is cash, yeah. But as I say, I use the profit, and at the moment, this is why I'm so hopeful for platinum. I'm out of platinum. And the reason why I'm out of platinum is because I never trade over the Christmas period. Over the Christmas period, I'm always in cash because it's too long a period for the governments to muck things up, really. So I try and stay in cash in those times. But if you see that, normally I'd still be in platinum. I wouldn't be cashing out. But I've cashed out, taken my profit. I'm quite happy. I've gone in at 840, and I'll come out at if you say I come out at 1,000, yeah, I've gained $160 per ounce. So $160 times 180, and that's exactly how I earn my money. I don't do no leverage, no betting, no gambling. I don't do no shorting. That's exactly how I work. And the reason why I do it this way is because 92% of traders lose money. Yeah, I have lost money on a trade. If I say I haven't lost money, I'd be lying. But it's very rare for me to lose any money whatsoever. But I can easily, by doing this trading, if anyone wants this sheet, I'll send it to them. It's an easy way. And the reason why I do platinum is because I really understand precious metals. So I'm like a specialist in precious metals. I understand gold, silver, platinum, palladium. I understand copper, nickel, or anything, like wheat, water. I'm into all of those power. I don't trust company shares. Tesla's looking terrible for next year. If I was in Tesla and I was in profit, I'd get out. Now, this is another chart. So this chart shows us like for the last year. So if you look at the last year where I'm really, you guys all know I'm a gold bug. So I come in even lower than that because this is March. So I'm down here with all my gold. So I'm sitting down here with my Midas touch, yeah? So at the beginning, I think gold at the beginning of the year was somewhere in the region of, say, 59. So it's 59, and it's finished up at 62. Well, you show me any stock market which is going to show you a return of like 6-8%. It's not going to do it, but here it has. The only difference with me here, if I was paper trading, I'd be coming out there, I'd be coming out there, 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 and I'll be going in at these bottoms. But this shows you the Thai baht against the US dollar and gold, because gold is priced in US dollars, and because the US dollar has been so strong this year, It smashed the Thai baht. So my advice to anyone, I say it all the time, I'm like a record repeating itself. If you live in Thailand, you need to buy gold because it's going to be your inflation edge and it's going to preserve your spending power. Nothing else does it other than gold. Gold or platinum is fine. I like silver, but silver's manipulated, so I don't fully trust it. So I know it always sounds like it's doom and gloom and I'm talking on Richard, but I'm only talking for about 30 seconds. It's really hard to get it all in 30 seconds. And then number 5, this is the S&P 500. The way I look at this, the S&P 500, I believe we're going to drop. And I think we're going to drop as low as 2,900. So I believe we're going to be down here. So if you've got an S&P, if you've got a 401, you really need to go to your financial advisor and ask them, what am I invested in? Show me what I'm invested in. Because I'm telling you now, a lot of these advisors, they just bunch all your money all together, and they're not looking out for you. All they're thinking about is their fucking commission. So you need to go and pressure your financial advisor and say, look, I need my money to work for me. So if you had somebody who was managing your account aggressively, okay, the cost of managing that account is going to cost you more. So if the cost of managing a 401, I would imagine is somewhere around the region of like 1 or 2% a year. It might even be less. It might even be 0.5%. But if you had somebody aggressively managing your account, it may cost you 10, 15%, but my God, you will get the return on it. Yeah. All the guys I know who've got those managed accounts, happy days rear again for them because they short the market as well, you know. Whereas I was with a friend and talking to a friend in the UK, and I looked at his portfolio, and I said, "Well, over the last 5 years, you've got no growth." Well, if that's the case, and it's going to mean that there's going to be a lot of people go to retire, and when they do their numbers, they're not going to have the number. Yeah, Joe's saying he reckons the S&P will drop to 2650. 2650. So that's down here, 2650. Yeah, which is equal to, yeah. It could easily drop to that. And it might not go back up, Joe. You know, this could stay like this for a long time now. How you doing, Robert? Robert, it was a pleasure having lunch with you today. You and your beautiful wife, Rachel. We had a good time in Soy 6. Yes, we done Christmas in Soy 6, and it was amazing. My video will be up tomorrow. I just can't do it today. I watched the 49ers play last night. They come on at 4 o'clock in the morning here. I had no chance. Normally, guys, I'm on Chang. Tonight, I'm on Lipton's peach tea. Yeah, Soy 6 tonight was madness. Yeah, so I see the next year, the way I see the next year, because inflation rate is above the Fed rate, it's going to take inflation a long, long, long time. And it's all right, people like Bloomberg and CNBC or whatever it's called. I don't even watch them. They're shit. All they do is pump and dump. All those channels who say, oh, yeah, but inflation's come down to 7%. Yeah, but what that means is your prices have gone up by 7%. So the prices are not coming down. They're just, every month it's just increasing, you know. And I was looking at one chart, like it was crazy. It was madness. So that's the thing. What concerns me is if you can't get this inflation down, and the costs are still going up, and the prices are going up, you're in real trouble. Jay East is not in tonight, so I'd be interested to see what he says about the restaurant trade because he's a bit of a restaurateur expert. But that was about it. But we had a good day today, though, Richard, and we had a good day today, Richard and Tommy and Joe. We had a really nice meal out, and it was madness. Then, I say, last night I ended up in a sexy bar with the boys. My God, that was madness. Any questions at all? Nah. Let's get this one out. Stop sharing. There you go. So that's the way I see the markets for next year. Stay in the US dollar. Get all your money out of euros. Get your money out of Canadian dollars. Get your money out of pounds. They're all doomed. They're doomed and gloomed. Guess what I've got here? It's red wine. And the reason why I've got it in a mug, because I've got the cat, and if the cat jumps up, I'll smash the glass. Yeah, Happy New Year and Happy Christmas to everybody, guys. And so I'll run till like 9 o'clock. Oh, you fucking bastard. Robert's going to the Cajun restaurant tomorrow morning. I can't do it tomorrow, Robert. I just can't do it. I'll do it on Tuesday. I can't do it. Well, Tuesday, we're going out for lunch on Tuesday anyway, so we're just waiting for Ryan to decide where we're going. That'd be nice. Joe's looking after all the kids. They all sleep. Are they all up, Joe? My daughter was up this morning at 5 o'clock, but she hasn't gone to sleep yet. Yeah, I've just been watching the American football. There's more football on tonight, isn't there? In a few hours, so I'll be watching that as well. So I'm going to do the show, go to sleep, wake up, do it again. Yeah, saw Cheap Charlie last night. Fuck me, Cheap Charlie ain't poor. I saw him last night. He had a pair of shoes on, a pair of trousers, a nice shirt. I don't own any of those. Yeah, it's wherever he's going to tell us tomorrow, Robert. So I've already given him a few suggestions because I wanted to go to a Spanish restaurant in Second Road, but we'll see. You know, but if not, why don't you go to Pan Pan tomorrow, Robert? Pan Pan, I'll put it in the chat. It's on Pratanack Hill, Pan Pan. It's excellent restaurant. I go there a lot. Pan Pan's brilliant. I love Pan Pan. Yeah, if anyone wants those charts, I'll email them to them. How you doing, Tommy J? Did you have a good Christmas with your mum? I bet you went down to see her. Or you may even be there now. Yeah. Yeah. See, it's why it's awkward. When no one comes to the chat, you do it by yourself. You don't hear me just talk. I'm boring. Some people can just go on these chats and talk and talk and talk. I can't do that. That's what I like about having a panel, because it's easier for me to control the chat. So I'm just like the chat controller. Yeah. It's amazing. We've had no trolls on here. Who let the trolls out? Woof. Woof. Who's on the show next week, Richard? Who you got next week? Or is it a secret? Or you're not doing the show next week because it's New Year, isn't it? It's New Year next week. So it'd be awkward. So next week, let's have a look. Oh yeah, so I'll be live in the first. Definitely. Because it's Sunday night. And the 49ers are playing the Raiders next week, so hopefully we'll smash the Raiders in Nevada. Or wherever they are, because the Raiders just changed from, you never know where the Raiders are based. Yeah, it's just getting to the end of Christmas here, but I've had such a good day today with Robert, Ryan, Rachel, and Robert Mack. We had such a good day today. We went to Soy 6 today, and so I met with Robert Mack and all the guys last night in Sexy Bar. Carbo's such a good guy here. Sorry, the kids are up. Got to go. See you later on, Joe. Joe, take care of yourself, my friend. Happy Christmas to you. So you can't donate on my show because I got it all blocked. when you're registered living here in Thailand, you can't take payments, I believe. Yeah. So if you go into my about page, you go down the bottom there, you'll see that I'm registered. I mean, I've always been registered since I moved here. I moved it from UK to here, and before that, I was registered in Spain. In Spain, I could have done chat, but YouTube wasn't very big in Spain when I was there. I think YouTube's really picked up the last few years. How long it lasts for is another thing altogether. I think YouTube does well because it does give you. It's not like Twitter where you wasn't allowed to say like "let's go Brandon" without getting banned. But I got myself barred last week because I ended up having a cigarette on the show, and they choked my channel because of it. Yeah, there's only 5 in there. Oh God, I tell you, I feel so. Look at these bags. These are dreadful. You know. What have I got in the background there? That's Buffalo and Detroit. Hello, Ken. How you doing? Hope you're well. Hope you're having a very good Christmas. Are you here in Thailand or you home somewhere else? But it's very, very awkward when you're talking to yourself. Very, very awkward. Oh, Robert, we was all slow, wasn't we? We was all ready to go home to bed. I don't know how I stayed awake driving home, Robert. I had to stop off, get some energy drinks, some of those 150 drinks. So I had 3 of those straight out of the fridge, drunk those straight down. Ah, San Diego, beautiful. That's Robert's part of the world. A little bit further south for Richard. But you go down to San Diego, don't you, Robert? Robert goes down there. What do you want, Anna? I'm waking, mate. I'm working. Afterwards. I'll come down and see you afterwards, yeah? Yeah, happy Christmas. Happy Christmas to all. Yeah. So what am I up to in the new year? In the new year, I plan on going up. I'm going to join you in 5 minutes if you have me on. Yeah, of course, Richard. Please come on. Honestly, it'll be a pleasure having you on. Might get some more people in the chat. It's really hard doing it by yourself. It's so hard, you know. Next year I have to arrange for somebody else to come on with me. I understand. Ryan's going to a party tonight. And I said to him, go. He said, well, I won't be able to come on the show and I feel bad. I said, don't feel bad. You know, you got a life. You know, we do this on a Sunday just for a laugh. It's like the boys going out to the pub, really. That's the way I see it. Yeah, I'll be looking out for you. I go to San Diego occasionally. Oh, that's nice. Pasadena. I used to go to Anaheim in Orange County to watch the Lambs play. Yeah, I used to watch the Lambs against the 49ers. And I used to stay in a DoubleTree Hotel, which was quite near to Thank God It's Friday. I used to stay in the DoubleTree Hotel because the 49ers used to stay there, same hotel. And I'll tell you a funny story about that. So I was staying in a DoubleTree Hotel. Never stayed in a hotel before where the 49ers were staying. It's a long time ago now. It's 30 years ago, so I can say it without being libeled, I suppose. So I'm in the restaurant and I'm eating, you know, just having something to eat or chatting or drinking. I can't really remember. And all of a sudden, there's a whole group of glamorous women just walked in through the foyer. and they were stunning. And so I said to this other 49er fan, I said, "Oh, what's this? Is this the players' wives?" He went, "No, it's the hookers." Seriously, it goes on everywhere, doesn't it? I don't know how many people gone live tonight. I'd have to have a look, see how many people gone live. How many people gone live tonight? How many people live? No, there's not a lot of people live in Patia, from what I can make out. Live Patia. Yeah. Oh, Cheap Charlie's live. Is he live? No, it was 18 hours ago. Oh, Sexy Bar. Yeah, Sexy Bar's live. They're probably a lot better looking than what I am here, I can assure you. I say today I look like shit because I just lack of sleep. Oh, man. So I got home last night at like 3:45 in the morning, just in time for the game. So everyone having a good Christmas, or anyone at home by themselves? That's the reason why I come on tonight. So the reason why I come on live tonight, I didn't think there'd be a lot of people here live in the chat anyway. It's just I feel sorry for the people who, you know, they're at home by themselves and they're lonely. It's not a good time for those people. When I was in the UK, when I was in Spain, I used to do loads of stuff for the homeless, you know, because we don't realise that a lot of us don't realise how fortunate we are of not, you know, having a roof over our head, you know. But there's a lot of people who are homeless not through their own fault, especially like military veterans and also men over the age of 50 who get divorced and they end up on the street because the trouble is, as a man, generally speaking, the wife keeps the house and you lose your home as well and your money and everything else, you know. I'm not saying the wife gains out of it or anything, or whether it's a right or wrong, but all I know is the typical men on the street are over 50, divorced, or military veterans because from what I can make out, the American armed forces, they look after their veterans, but the UK, they really do not look after their veterans at all. It's quite poor. Yeah, so there's an American football game on tonight. It must be Tampa Bay because I didn't see them playing yesterday. So this year, I didn't send any cards this year. I'm going to give a donation to the Father Ray Foundation because they are inundated with people's kids who can't afford to bring them up because of this recession. We're already in a recession anyway, but 23 is going to be a really bad recession. Anyway, guys, cheers. Oh, I tell you, that's lovely, that wine. That wine is really good. That wine is really, really good. I bet I'll have too many of those, I'm going to be pissed. What else is going on? So next year, I've got to go up to... next year, I'm going to travel up to Chiang Rai, go and see Gordon. Also got to go to I've also got to go to Isan to go and see... well, I haven't got to see. My wife's got to go and see her family. Oh my God, Ken! I was speaking to a guy yesterday, exactly the same thing. I said, "What are you doing today?" He said, "Oh, I'm having lunch with my ex-wife and the kids." I said, "You're joking?" He went, "Yeah, really." So he's stuck in the house with his ex. Then he'll be right. Oh, brilliant! So you're going to be over here in about 3 weeks, then, Ken. Well, where are you going to, Ken? Where are you going to? What part of Thailand do you look at the go to? if you're going to John TM, you can meet up with us guys. Yeah. Ken, it's the best thing I've ever done, retire. I'm looking at it now. I retired when I was 60. Yeah. I probably could have retired when I was 40, but I couldn't retire when I was 40 because I had too many divorces. So I retired at 60. I did question myself over it, even though I knew I had enough money to retire. And looking back at it now, the way I see it, that was 3 years ago. So 3 years ago, I retired. And so I've lost 33% of my 60s already. They've already gone. They've gone. And my mum did warn me. My mum said to me, she goes, I'm telling you now, Tom, be very, very careful. She goes, in your 60s, they're your prime years, and they go like that. You know, she goes, they're just gone. So you need to get out of, you need to retire. And that's what I did. So I'm happily retired. I love it. Yep, it's a great age to go, Ken, 60. Seriously. Yep. But you will have doubts in your head because obviously, you know, as soon as you walk out, you're losing that check every month. In my case, when I retired, it wasn't just me. My wife was like 40. How old was she? She was about 42 at the time. 40. She's 41, 40. Yeah. So when I retired, she retired as well at 40 because nobody can afford to pay her here. I've got to look at a business here. I'm going to develop a business here, and I've already decided I'm going to develop a business in. I'm going to build. I've got this 2,000 square meters of land, which I've already put a lot of money into. So I've put a wall round, bought the land, filled the land. I'm going to put like 12 cabins on there, and a cellar, swimming pool, little gym, all solar powered, 100% off grid. And I'm going to do it for people who are over 55. They need somewhere to live, but they're by themselves and they're worried about, hold it, I'm here, and if something happens to me, I'm knackered because that is the truth. If you're here by yourself and you haven't got a Thai partner, you're in trouble. But although a lot of guys like having a Thai partner, like me, I've got a lovely, beautiful wife, and I'm really happy with her. There's a lot of guys out there who don't want a partner. They just want to live by themselves. See you later on, Robert. Robert, I'll catch you on Tuesday. We can't go there tomorrow. I need a day off. I've been to patio every day this week. I need a day off tomorrow. I need a day where I'm sitting down. I've got things to do. Yeah, so retiring at 60, wow. It's the best thing ever. I just love retiring at 60. Richard's in to save the day. Look at that. Gotta put him straight in. Good evening, Richard. Hello, people. Come on, you Niners.
How you doing, Tom?
Oh,
you've had better days, huh?
Well, watching the Niners smash Bolsa, he's just an animal.
Oh, it's such a great game to watch. Those are the ones that are fun because you always hate it in trash time, you know, towards the end of the game when the other team starts to score points and makes it look like it was close. But the Niners just ran away with it. And I think my favorite part of that game, Tom, was Washington went for it on 4th down twice during that game. And I was thinking, are you shitting me?
Yeah.
Like, we're the number 1 defense and you're going to go for it against us. So I really felt like Shanahan was sort of the first time like, okay, yeah, whatever. Second time, it's like, that's disrespectful. So I think he went for it on 4th down late in the game. I was like, yeah, that's right. Give it to him. So I really thought that at the end of the game, they might not get along. They might not shake hands, but they did.
Yeah. Well, the thing is as well is because when you go back to the Super Bowl against Kansas, where we should have won that Super Bowl. And I think we had a 3rd down and short. I think it was a 3rd down and 2. And we was running all over them. And we punted the ball. And I'm saying, what you're doing. And by doing that, we lost momentum. And ended up losing the game. And people blame it on something else, on the guy dropping the ball on the interception towards the end, etc., etc. But we lost it because we didn't take enough risks. And I take my hat off to Washington because obviously we're a better team. But they did go for it, didn't they?
Yeah.
They went for it.
Yeah. It's just a nutty game. And Bosa, like, wow, just one of the best players I've seen in my lifetime, probably. Just amazing athlete.
Yeah, because I'd watched Charles Haley play. I was there when Charles Haley played, and he was an animal as well,
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great game. It's fun to watch. And it's actually, I didn't realize it was going to be so awesome these 2 days, because yesterday, all day football. It's like, oh my God, this is so great. And unfortunately, the team I pull for, my underdog team, is Detroit Lions. They lost. So that kind of sucked. Like, I like that coach. I like that team.
I've got them on now.
Yeah, it's too bad. But Dallas won over Minnesota. That's good for the Niners because we're trying to get that
over
top seed.
Philadelphia.
Oh, Philadelphia. Yeah, Philadelphia. Yeah. Which is actually, that's going to be an interesting team now to watch for the next 2 games with Minshew, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm really hoping that Philadelphia. I'm really hoping that the Philadelphia quarterback's injured.
Yeah, me too. Stays injured. Stay down.
Isn't it strange the way we think we're wishing well health on people?
Yeah. And it's going to be so interesting with the 49ers, because now with Garoppolo, they say coming back for the playoffs, which I think mysteriously what's going to happen there is, as he gets closer to coming back, some of the doctors may say, well, you do have some issues with your foot here and there. Maybe I don't think you should come back quite yet. I think all of a sudden it's going to be a longer return because they don't want the controversy,
Yeah.
So,
I think we're looking good with this guy, this young kid.
Purdy,
and if I was Trey Lance, I'd be very, very concerned.
Oh, for sure. I think what you got. So one thing for certain is Purdy's getting paid regardless. So if the Niners keep him, he's going to get paid. If they don't keep him, someone else is going to pay him big money. Like, this has been a life-changing couple of games for Purdy. Like, he's probably making league minimum $100,000 a year as like a third stringer. And now he's probably, I think next year, probably going to be $100 million contract. At least. Young kid.
Talent. Yeah, because if the 49ers don't keep him, they're going to have to trade him, because they can't keep Trey Lance and him.
Yeah. And the Niners are notorious, at least for the last 20 years, of making these kind of mistakes. Back when I grew up watching them, they didn't make these mistakes. They pay him. Eddie DeBartolo would just pay everyone. Everyone's getting paid. Brilliant. Over the salary cap, they pay you anyways.
Best owner ever.
Yeah. So it's so good. And so I think what's going to happen is, like, they probably won't keep Purdy. I really feel like they're going to make this usual Niners mistake, and they'll try to bring in Tom Brady, because I think Tom Brady's going to be available. They'll bring him in, and he's going to be way past his prime. And we'll get the leftovers, and we'll see. I just feel like the situation's too perfect right now. We have all these great players, just awesome. Like Kittle, you got Purdy, McCaffrey. We got a good young quarterback. We're set up for the next 5 years.
But even people like Jennings, like the wide receiver, he just goes down and blocks downfield. And are you, like, they're unbelievable receivers. They're just great guys. But as you say, Kittle, he's on fire, isn't he? He's never played as good as what he's playing the last few weeks.
I do agree with that. I feel like last year was kind of a down year for him a little bit. I think 2 years ago was like Kittle on fire. And the thing with Kittle, man, is like he'll catch that. He's actually better at catching the ball this year. I feel like before he was a running back. Now he's great at catching it. And then the key for Kittle is those yards after the catch, the yak, right? He calls it the yak. The yards after the catch. Like, you can't tackle that guy. He's so tough.
No. Well, the thing is as well, when he actually gets the ball, like yesterday, when he actually caught the ball, because I've never seen Kittle play live, but when I saw him catch the ball yesterday, and then he started running, he made the cornerbacks look really small.
Yeah.
and I didn't even go near him. It was like, oh no. It's like, I thought he was going to turn it into a WWE event or something,
Yeah, because he's just a talent. And I guess the great thing about the team right now is like you didn't mention Deebo Samuel. Like, so no one's mentioned his name because he's been injured, but it's like we're still doing great. Now, a year ago, like that would be all right, season's done, Samuel's out, but I feel like we're so deep now. It really helps out a lot. And God,
Oh,
could
I
you
just, I
guess
just
like
hope
the
we,
quarterback situation? Amazing,
oh,
huh?
I just hope we win the Super Bowl.
I'll tell you. So the reason I'm excited about that, what you just said, is because every year there's this special team that kind of comes out of nowhere, that like the bad news bears of the teams. And I feel like the Niners are that team this year. Like they're this
Yeah,
ragtag group that like third man up, you can do it, and they have all this talent. And the guys, they get along. Like these people, they go out and they hang out after the game, like they're friends. Unlike
yeah.
all the other teams, right?
Yeah, I think the management. I think Lynch has done an unbelievable job as GM of actually just forming this room of guys that are all. They might not have played for the best college, but they're all like motivated to win, and they're all like. It doesn't matter even if they was in the college but lost a lot of games. Those guys used to go to the room and say, "Come on in, guys. Next week, let's go for it. Let's go for it again." And it's built up this positive attitude, you know.
Yeah, yeah. And for anyone wondering like why my lights are so dim, man, I can't turn on these key lights at 5 o'clock in the morning. I got these lights in front that I usually turn up big for the live show to brighten me up. I can't
No,
do that
you
at
look
5 in the
great.
morning.
You look absolutely fantastic.
Okay. All right, good.
Happy Christmas to you.
Yeah, thank
Happy
you.
Chri-
Happy Christmas to you, man.
Oh, we've had such a great day. But the
Well,
trouble
looks
is,
like the Unabomber.
I haven't slept. I fucking haven't slept. I need
Yeah.
sleep.
Yeah, and that's the thing with Patty. I got to tell you, man, I'm all about self promotion on this show. Like, if you want to find out about sleep, Tom, you got to go to my part 2, Richard Returns to Thailand.
Okay.
I talk about the sleep pattern in Pattaya. You
Oh,
can't sleep 8 hours. It's 4 and 4, man. 4 hours and
yeah,
4 hours. Talk
without a
about
doubt.
that.
Without a doubt. Like what happened last night, I ended up going to Pattaya at like, I got there at like 1 o'clock in the morning. And when I saw Mitch and Robert Mack and Carbo and people like that, all good fun, all really, really good fun. And after when I come out of there, I went and had a burger in Tree Town. I had this fantastic burger, absolutely fantastic burger, 160
You,
baht.
you get it from a stand or something?
Yeah, just from a stand, it was
Yeah,
brilliant.
yeah. So it's amazing. See, that's what I love about Pattaya, because sometimes you can just get the best food from a stand, but
Yeah,
your opinion is clouded because you're probably drunk as hell. Sure,
yeah.
that's the
Well,
best burger ever. You go back today, that's the worst burger ever.
well, lucky enough, I was stone sober and I wasn't stoned either, so it was good. It really was good. But while I was sitting there just people watching, I had two guys walk past, and one of them I feel really guilty. It's actually bugged me all day. I should have actually gone up to him and said, "Look, you're right. Do you want me to get you home?" Because he physically could not. He wasn't functioning.
Hmm.
His legs were moving, but his brain wasn't.
Oh,
And he was just all over the place, and everyone's laughing at him. And I should have actually gone over to him and just got him home. You know, as a good citizen, really. But I never, and I feel guilty for that.
was this one of the guys in your group that you were hanging out with?
No, it was. I was sitting outside the burger bar having a drink and watching. Just watching the world go by, because that's the nice thing about Tree Town. You can just sit there and watch the world go by. So if you're I'm a bit of a people watcher.
Yeah.
So if you're a people watcher, you're sitting there watching all these people walk by, and I just saw this one individual, and normally I would go up and say, "Are you okay? Do you want me to take you? Get you to your hotel room?" And I didn't, and I felt bad all day about that. But I'm gonna have to move on for a bit. It's
Yeah.
just one of those things, isn't it? You
Yeah.
can't help everybody.
I feel like Pattaya, it's like laws of the jungle. It's like survival of the fittest, man. Like,
Well,
you got
yeah, it's it, because you don't know how some people are going to take it either. Because some people when they're
right.
drunk, they just go into I call it arsehole mode, and they go to and so you say, "Oh, can I help you?" And they go, "Oh, they want to fight."
Yeah, for
You know?
sure. Yeah, for sure.
But I have to say, last night, Christmas Eve, I didn't see any acts of aggression, anything at all. Everything was all peace and love last night.
Well, that's good, because I got to tell you, it's not historically not my favorite time to come to Pattaya. I'll come during Christmas, but I will literally shut myself in at New Year's Eve, because I
Yeah,
feel like then it's kind of amateur hour, and you get the people that don't usually drink. They'll drink that night, they get
yeah,
drunk, and like you
yeah,
were saying, sometimes they're angry drunks, and that's a problem. And I'll tell you
yes,
what, as like an expat coming over there, like you can't get in a fight. Like
Nah,
there's no benefit to like proving you're right and getting in a fight because guess what?
nah.
You both go to jail and you both get banned. You
Yep,
know,
yep. I
so
totally agree. Yeah, yeah. I've come to the conclusion. I just, including my wife, I don't argue with ties,
yeah.
including my wife.
Yeah, I got to tell you. So there's an interesting story that happened to me back in, it was 2015 when I was coming there to Patty. I was at, what was it? Soy Diamond open air bar. And there was
Yep.
this a-hole American. Like I
Yeah.
like to play hip hop music. And like these open air bars, sometimes they give you the control of the music. You can go and like
Yeah.
pick a song. So I was playing some great hip hop music. This guy was all about like 80s hard rock, which is
Oh,
fine. I like that music too, but it's like he was like going and like interrupting my song and playing his song, and I was like literally like ready to lose it. But I was just like being calm. But he was noticing that I was pissed off, so he was sort of egging me on. He came and stood right next to me, and he kind of shoved my shoulder a little bit, and he said, "I'd win." And man, just like little trigger words like that, I want to just
oh,
like lay the guy out. But
oh.
then it was so funny. The bar staff of these places are so good. They came running
Yeah.
around. Richard, don't, no, 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 don't do it. And they told me that this story about like, listen, you'll both go to jail and you'll get banned for like 5-7 years. You won't be able to come
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
And as
It's
you're
a,
sitting at home waiting to come
yeah.
back, you'll be
Yeah.
wondering, why did I fight that guy? So
Yeah, exactly. Well, I saw Mitch down in Sexy Bar. Then on some of the streams, somebody saying, "Oh, go and knock Mitch out, and I'll buy you a drink or whatever." And I'm thinking to myself, "My God, what the hell's going on here?" So, as a friend, I'm not a fighter, you know.
yeah.
But as a friend to Mitch, I just thought, well, I'll go down and see Mitch and make sure he's okay, you know. But when I got down there, saw the situation, and Robert Max there, he's a Mountain anyway, so everything was under control, really, you know.
Yeah.
But it's some people do it to get it on camera because yesterday, Sexy Bar, there must have been at one time maybe 12 people doing live streams.
Oh wow. So was that the bar that everyone was at for the Christmas party? Like was
Yeah,
it
for Carbo.
okay. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, because Carbo's from like Seattle, but spends a lot of time in Carbo in Mexico.
Okay.
Really nice guy, really nice, generous guy, and he's just a really nice gentleman. And
Yeah, he's kind of a
but
famous subscriber. Like
oh
he and Charlie, he subscribed to Charlie early on and became friends, met somewhere, and like he's been a big supporter, contributor of the channel via super chats. And I
yeah,
always feel like it's sort of a sign of appreciation when someone like that comes on your show. Like he came on, I think, twice to my live show. Probably
oh
said like
really?
enough. Yeah, he's like enough of this shit. This channel sucks. So he didn't come back, but he came on twice. And I thought that was kind of cool. It's like Louis Cabo. He's kind of a famous guy around subscribers and
Oh,
watchers. You know?
he's massive. He's absolutely massive. Like it's the generosity. He's so generous. You know, I don't think I've ever come across such a generous individual who he just donates money and even forgets what he's donated.
Yeah. Yeah. I think at one point he had super chatted Charlie so much on a live stream that YouTube blocked his account. Like said, this is obviously fraudulent. Like nobody donates this much money during a live stream.
Yeah,
So I guess the limit's like $1,500, like the most you can,
yeah.
super chat. So he got locked out. So Charlie was trying to give him instructions on how to work around that. Like, go log out of that account, create another account.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Charlie was there last night, but by the time I got there, the spray party had started. They're all
yeah.
spraying all this foam stuff over each other.
Now, what do you think of that
Carbo
stuff? What
was
do you think of
covered.
that stuff?
I don't like it.
Yeah, either do I. Yeah, I'm not a fan. And that's
I
all they
don't
do,
think.
like New Year's Eve, right? Is the silly string.
Well, the trouble was when I was in the burger bar, the lady in there, she's like laughing at me, and I think, what are you laughing at? You know? And I said, "You okay?" She went, "Oh, you got all straw over your head." Maybe I should have used a black one and increase my hair. You know?
There you go. Yeah, that would've been smart.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a crazy time. Well, you're getting near the crazy time right now, where all the prices go up and everyone flies in, right?
It's hard getting the accommodation at the moment. It's really hard getting accommodation. It's really full.
Well, what's it looking like with the Chinese tourists? Are they back? Because there's
No, they're
all
not
kinds
back
of
yet.
trouble in China right now, right?
I think they're in real trouble. I think they're in real trouble in China.
Yeah.
I'll be surprised if we see the Chinese this year. Also, the Chinese government as well are refusing the Chinese to take their currency out of the country.
Oh, is that right? Yeah, because it's madness going on there. I tell you, this is not being reported in the general media.
Oh,
What's going on in China? You got to watch this show. For anyone that's interested, I watch this channel called Redacted, and they do like a daily show. It's like an hour and a half, and they tend to
oh,
split it
really?
up into like 20-minute segments. They're so like on point, Tom, that they actually got their latest live stream for an hour and a half got taken down, and they had to split it up in like little 20-minute segments. But they are on point. They will show like what's going
Yeah,
on with the
yeah,
jab, with the China stuff. It's very
yeah, yeah.
interesting.
The Wuhan.
Yeah, check them out if you get a chance. It's pretty good
Oh, no,
stuff.
no, no, no. I'm sure I've probably come across them because I spend about 10 hours a day following financials. That's
Mhm.
what I actually do. I might not be trading that day, but I'll still be following the financial channels because I'm looking to see what's going on, not now, but like 6 weeks in the future or 12 weeks or next
Yeah.
month or,
Well, I got to
so.
tell you, it's getting to be. I mean, you're spot on with how you're calling the economy because I got to tell you, like, I actually switched jobs recently. So I won't
Oh,
get too
really?
specific, but like, I'm in technology sales and
Yeah.
I came from a company where I was selling a premium product that was kind of a nice to have for corporations. If you wanted to take like your sales team up to the next level, buy my
Gotcha.
product. But it was a premium price and it was a nice to have, not a really
Y-
need to have.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, like, sales were, and I got out before the mass layoff happened there. Now I'm working at a company that's like a price alternative product. Like,
Gotcha.
we will help you save money over your current solution. So go with us. So I feel like, and it's more for like mid-tier companies. And I
Oh,
feel
right.
like
Okay.
that's more recession proof. Like, all right, so listen, so we will save you money. Like, get off that expensive solution, come over, use ours. But
Oh,
even with
brilliant.
that, Tom, it's like a struggle. Like, I see
Yeah.
our team is like,
Yeah.
it's
So,
not
so
good.
without prying, is that contract or are you the
Software.
employee?
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm
Software.
employee. Yeah, employee.
You're an employee. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But but when you're in software sales, that's good money. It's always been good money.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been doing it, 25 years now. And it's like,
Yeah. Yeah. And
yeah,
obviously as
it's,
well,
yeah.
you're highly skilled as well. You're highly skilled within the software side anyway, aren't you?
Yeah. So I don't think I am, but I guess like looking back, I'm like, yeah, I guess I do kind of know my name. Yeah, I've worked for some big companies like Salesforce and Oracle. So
Oh,
I've worked
right.
for some
Okay.
big companies, over the
Yeah.
years. Got a
Oracle.
lot of
Yeah.
experience doing that. Now I'm working for more smaller companies. As you
Yeah.
get older, you kind of go towards more the boutique companies. They can pay you more.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. My last two companies was Toshiba and IBM.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
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 That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Because you follow, well, as you say, you follow the money, you know,
Yeah, it's
follow the
so
money.
true.
But a lot of like my skills I've got are not from what I got at college, So my degrees in hospitality, but I learned a lot of my trade is in like commercial software training software, So
Yeah,
testing software as well and stuff like that, So I don't do the coding or anything like that, but I used to do a lot of end user classroom training,
yeah,
and it's all good money, isn't it? So to me, it's like
yeah. It's interesting.
the rates they pay. It's like crazy. And I've
Yeah,
been offered
nuts.
job work, to work here, but the trouble is, it means working all night because the work's in Europe, and it means staying up till like 6 o'clock in the morning. And I just don't want to do it.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I think the only time that I really had difficulty finding a job is during the 2008 recession, like
Oh yeah.
just where it fell off like a cliff. Literally,
Oh
like I was working at a large company then,
yep.
and literally, like all of us sales guys, like our pipeline just went away. Like literally, call me later. We're not buying anything. It was nuts. We
Yep.
all got laid off, like massive layoff. And I
Yep.
was out of work for 6 months, which is still like the longest amount of time I've been out
Yep.
of work.
Yeah. That's when I come to Thailand,
Is that right?
2008. Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Exactly the same thing as you, because I was doing contract work. So as a contractor, you're just a hired gun. And so in like 2004, you're earning really good rates, really good money. And the same in 2005, 2006, 2007. By the time it got to the end of 2007, it's changed slightly. They was trying to knock your day rate. So instead of saying, oh, we're going to pay you, just for example, $500 a day, we're going to pay you, it went from like that to like $100 a day. It was like, yeah, but it's the same job. No, but that's all we could pay on this contract. And when they come out with that, I said, well, when they start paying the proper rate, give me a call. I'm going to Thailand.
Yeah. Yeah, I tell you, I wish I would have come to Thailand earlier. like way back, I feel like, man, the time for me to have come probably would have been when I got divorced for the first time back in
Yeah.
2004,
Oh yeah,
because
yeah,
I was single. I had a mountain
yep,
of money from a divorce settlement. Like we ended up having to sell the house, like
yep.
divide the assets.
Yeah,
That
as you
would have
do.
been like the perfect time to come. I probably would have been a bar owner by now. I probably would have set up a bar or another business. I've always thought,
Yep.
like, what kind of business would I have done back then? I thought like maybe like a travel business, something so I could be self-sufficient. Have you thought about doing that yourself, Tom? Like, you got
Yeah,
any?
I'm thinking about doing assisted living.
Ooh,
We've basically where we live here, about 2 kilometers down the road, we've got like 2,000 square meters, and we can put like 12 cabins on there, which will all be off grid, solar powered. So got no electricity bills, 100% solar powered, world water, swimming pool, cellar, co-working space. But it's for people over the age of like 50 who need somewhere to live but want to live by themselves rather than having a permanent Thai partner. Because if you live with a Thai partner, you end up buying a house, and that's the way it works, But there's still a lot of guys here who have been divorced, had a bad experience, and they're happy living by themselves,
yeah.
you know. And so I think, well, if you could come and live on like our land, if you could come and live on there, where you get your 3 meals a day, but then we do trips out to Patio, we do trips out to John TM, blah blah blah, and I think it could be quite good. At first I was going to build a resort for like nomads, like just for digital nomads. But since I've been here and been in the community, I've come to the conclusion there's a far, far bigger need for people over the age of 50 who need to live within a small community, but as a group, because what they're worried about is if they just drop dead or they're sick, they've got nobody to look after them,
Yeah.
and I think for a small amount, then when you look at assisted care in America, for example, I think the cheapest price you get is about $3,000 a month, something
Oh,
like that.
really? That's quite a
Yeah,
bit.
yeah, yeah. If you look at it, and I'll check it out, let me know. But I think it's around about $3,000 a month, and it's the same in the UK. So I thought, well, if I'd done it, I could probably start it. I could probably start it at about $1,200 a month.
Oh, that's great. It's a good ROI.
Yeah,
Yeah, I feel like that people would do that.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. So, I got the land, but I don't want to sell my gold to do the building. So,
Yeah.
if anyone wants to invest in anything, feel free.
Yeah, is that your backstop, your gold savings?
Yeah, yeah. I've been buying gold since 1980 on a
Yeah.
regular basis. I used to work for some gentlemen who were businessmen, and one of the guys in there, he said to me, he said, "Look, all these bonuses we're paying you everything. He said, do yourself a favor, buy gold and silver, and you'll never be poor." And I was just like an ordinary young kid, and it was the best advice anyone ever gave me, really, and that's what I've done. I've just done that on a monthly basis.
Yeah, I guess back in 96, like Oracle, Larry Ellison used to pay the sales reps in gold bullion. They would actually bring the Brinks truck up, back it up to
Yeah,
Oracle, and they would actually pay out the reps in gold. It's like a
really.
pretty famous story. Yeah, Mark Benioff, who's the founder of Salesforce,
Yep.
he was a sales rep for Oracle, and he tells a
Okay.
story about, like, yeah, he was getting paid in gold from Ellison.
Yep. Yep. It's the
Yeah.
same as Trump. Trump's got a building in New York, and he's got a bullion company in there or something, and they don't pay in dollars. They pay him in gold bullion each month.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just nuts.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah,
it's
and
crazy.
it was the same because gold was so cheap at the time. It was like it's not like now. Like now, I'll go out and I might buy 50 grams. I might buy 50 grams a month, but not always. After time, I'm only buying I'm only buying about 15, just over 15 grams a month now. But previously, I'd be buying like 4 or 5 ounces because the price.
Wow. Yeah.
But
So
now I can't do that.
Interesting. Yeah, I gotta tell you, like every Thai female I've met, it's all about the gold. Like I feel like that's their backstop. Like when time gets rough, they immediately sell the gold,
Yeah.
but they feel like that's a
Yeah.
big savings for them. Like to kind of
it
mask
is.
that.
Yeah. And also as well, you can see it because in our times, the gold shops, the people queuing up to get out, to get in there. It's like madness, really. But there you go.
Yeah, I feel like the go ahead.
Go on.
I was just gonna say the one thing I've learned, man. We're talking about like technology and software and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
spent 25 years doing this. I gotta tell you, like, getting older has been interesting for me in this
Yeah.
business because it's really like a young man's game, like software
Yes.
sales. But I'll
Totally
tell you
agree.
what. So one thing I've done to kind of still be relevant in this industry is
Yeah.
anytime new technology comes out, and we have a lot of different software programs to help us out with our productivity, I
Gotcha.
embrace it. And I gotta tell you, like 10
Yeah.
years ago, I'd be like, I don't need that. I just sell. I talk to people
Yeah.
on the phone. I can get them to buy. But I've realized that old people say that I don't need that stuff. Get out of here. And to
Yes.
be more relevant, you have to embrace any kind of new technology. So, like when
Yeah.
something new comes out, like, oh, I want to check that out. Let me get good at that. Because otherwise, you're a dinosaur. It's like, oh, Richard's that old guy that won't use anything.
Yeah. You sound very similar to me. I was talking to when I was working for Toshiba. So one of the guys said to me once, he goes, I just can't believe. He said to me, I can't believe the way you work. I said, what do you mean? He said, you work every weekend, you work any hour God send. You just go for it all the time, and you got a young child at home. And he goes, what are you coming up to your 60s? He goes, I don't see how you've got the energy to do it. He said, I've got a child at home, and I can't do what you do. I don't see where you get the energy from. And I said to him, well, to be honest with you, the reason why I do it is the same thing. It's like I embrace new technology. I say, so when a new piece of software comes out, where a lot of people say, oh, no, I don't want that. I don't want nothing to do with that. No. I embrace it. I try and get involved in it and try and learn as much as I can about it. And I think it pays off because it stops you being a dinosaur.
Yeah.
So, and when I used to do, we used to do implementation of software.
Mm-hmm.
So when we was going out doing implementation of software and change management, some of those managers are just so funny. They just make me laugh because they kind of say, I don't want. I even had one guy, he smashed his PC up.
Really?
He smashed his PC up. Yep. He said, I'm not having this. And he smashed his PC up. And I couldn't believe, I was shocked.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I had to spend a few weeks with that guy. But in the end, he got used to it, because I was like a team leader. So I said to the other guys, don't worry. I know the guy's a bit of an AL, but I'll go there and talk to him. By the time I left, we was best friends. Because I was just holding his hand. I was holding his hand for it must have been 3 weeks. And he said, oh, I'm so grateful to you, Tom. You're spending all this time. I thought, well, don't worry, because I'm getting paid for it, Show me the money.
Yeah. It's funny because so I became part of this company with about 7 other guys. We all came out at the same time. So we have this little what we call Slack channel where we all talk and stuff.
Yeah.
And it is interesting. Like Tom, I'll tell you, there are some young kids that are very driven. And I say to myself, man, these are the future VPs of these companies. These guys that come in, Tom, they know about quality of life, but they also know how important it is, listen to other leaders about how to live their life and how to be successful. They read books and stuff.
Yes.
And I wonder how they got that way. Because I wasn't like that at all in my 20s. I was like,
oh, I think you was. And I think you are now.
Yeah. Well, what do you think drives that? I mean, do you feel like you were like that too? Young?
Yeah, I think what it was, I was brought up in a very, very poor household. I had plenty of love, no violence. There was no violence, but there was plenty of love. But we had no money. It was early 60s, so it was about 15 years after the Second World War, just after food rationing. There was no fat people at school. Things weren't easy living in London in that period. A lot of people had TB and died. It was, and I think when you come from that, it gives you the drive to think, I never want to return to it.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why I always say, wherever somebody offers you an opportunity, take it and make the most out of it.
Yeah.
Because if you burn your bridges, they might not come back, They might not come back. I do find some youngsters burn their bridges a little bit too quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I agree.
Yeah, I do admire these kids who come over and do all the vlogging. You know, all these youngsters who do the vlogging and they get like the 100,000 views. Because I think to myself, my God, you know what you're doing? You're taking such a chance. You know, because when they go to an employer, the employer's not going to really understand what they've been doing, but they don't realise what they have been doing is working.
Yeah.
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 You know, but it does concern me because what they should be looking at, and hopefully they do, is when they're earning this money, that hopefully they will be putting 20% of it away for the future.
Yeah, that's the important thing is, socking money away. I mean, gosh, I tell people like I've been fortunate enough to go through 3 IPOs in my career, Tom, like 3
Really?
IPOs. Like most people go through their career, I just want to have 1 IPO. So I've had 3, but I've also been divorced twice.
So
everything gets split 50-50. Yeah. It's just nuts. Like, damn it. And I was one of those guys like an early contributor to 401ks. Like I'd always do that. The company would match and then had a divorce, took half my 401k.
Oh, yeah, the divorces kill you, Richard.
Oh,
they kill
do.
you.
Oh, man. Yeah.
My first one, I walked out of that with $100.
It's so funny. I used to tell people like, why divorce is so expensive? And they're like, why? Because it's worth it. But now I feel when I tell people is like, when my friends say like, oh, we're looking to like split up, I'm gonna get a divorce. I'm like, you know what? You should work it out. Go to counseling. It's better. I'm telling you, I've been divorced twice. Work it out. Stay together. Stay together. Work it out.
Yeah. If you got to take in the financials, it's the same thing. Some people don't look at the financial side.
Yeah.
So if you don't take the financial side into account, you're in for a bit of a shock.
Yeah, I want to tell people like, listen, so do you like living in your house, 4-bedroom, 2-bath, with that pool in the back? Like, so your future is you're going to be living in a studio apartment in a crappy part of town, and you're going to be paying $250,000 over the next 18 years for that child you had. So, yeah, so that's your future. Like, no, we're gonna. What everyone always tells me is we're gonna work it out. We're gonna use a paralegal. We're very on good terms, and I tell people, listen, man, anytime money is involved, it's gonna get nasty. Like 100% of the time. And they always come back like, well, she wanted this and she wanted that. So now we got to go get lawyers. It's like, yeah. So there you go.
And of course, the only people getting rich out of it is the lawyers.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So, and I'll tell you, it's not cheap, man. Not cheap.
Oh, no. No. I'm lucky here in Thailand because my wife owns everything. I don't own anything here. Zero. I don't own a car. I don't own land. I don't own property. My name's not on anything at all here. So if I got divorced, she'd just have it all, But she deserves it anyway because she's been married to me for 14 years. So
it's like a severance. Time well served.
We're joking, Pry. my wife says.
You can have your own back. Don't worry.
I don't think so.
Oh, it's so funny.
Only daughter. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
It's so funny, Tom. Like my first marriage lasted 7 years. Second was 7 months. I remember sitting there at the altar area waiting for her to walk down, the second wife. And I said to myself, man, this was a big mistake. This is going to cost me about $10,000 to get out of this one. And sure enough, like almost to the dollar, it cost $10,000 in lawyers' fees to get out of it.
Yeah.
And lasted 7 months.
Yeah. Like Douglas is saying, Tom, I'm the same way. Everything is in Nun's way, which is his wife, no doubt. And it's just an easier way. It's just an easier way. So I would never take anything from Pry because everything she's got, she's worked for it.
Yeah. Well, I thought Ken has a great comment there. His first divorce, he left with the truck, dog, hand tools. The second one is easy. She can have everything. We split the house. So I feel like that's one thing you get good at by going through one divorce. You get very good at like how to handle it, how to weather the storm.
Yeah.
It's just
the first one I gave everything, 100%. And the second one I actually paid my wife off because she needed cash quick. So I paid her 180,000, the equivalent of 180,000 US dollars, and just to get her out of my life. Happy days.
Happy days. Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna
Well,
lose the money somehow, either lawyers or her. So might as well just pay direct.
well, that's what I said to her because I paid her early. I had to set up a legal framework where I paid her the money, and then she'll come back to court afterwards. And she's going, "Oh no, I won't take it. I won't go back to court. If you give me this, I need this money now to set myself up." I said, "Well, I understand that." I said, "But I'm only prepared to give you the money if you're prepared to sign an affidavit to say this concludes our business arrangement or marriage or whatever you want to call it, and there'd be no further legal action." She goes, "Yeah, but you don't need me to sign that. I wouldn't take you to court." Well, 18 months later, I got like a deposition through to my lawyers, and my lawyers wrote back and said, "Well, I don't even know where he is. He's in Thailand riding elephants." and lucky enough, the judge, because he saw all the paperwork we set up when she got the money early, he said, "Well, why did you sign this paperwork early?" She goes, "Well, I needed the money." He goes, "Well, why are you coming here now?" He goes, "Well, I'm coming back here now because I've run out." So he threw it out as an afterthought. It was a bit of an Amber Turd thing, really, you know. Yeah. It's quite interesting. I didn't realise you'd been divorced twice, the same as me, you know. But it's quite interesting. It's very painful, though, Richard. I found divorce very painful.
It changes you as a person. Like my first one, yeah. I mean, so not to get too personal, but my first wife actually tried to commit suicide when I gave her the notice that I was leaving her. Yeah, so I have all that guilt on my head. Yeah. Let me tell you, like that'll change you as a person when someone tries to kill themselves because of something you did. Like that makes you take a tough look at your life. And she wasn't like just trying to get attention; like it was a serious attempt. The wrist thing, and then stepping into a jacuzzi. So anyone that knows anything about that kind of stuff, like that's how you do it. Just nuts. And was found by parents that were concerned about her the next day. So wow, so nuts. So that kind of stuff changes you. That's why I really won't actually date anyone that has not been divorced. Like if you're 40 or 50 years old and you've never been divorced, like I don't want to talk to you because like you haven't been through that pain and you haven't changed. I just feel like it changes you. You know what it's like.
Yeah, like we've made light of it, but there is a serious side to it as well, which is there's a lot of pain involved. Like my first marriage, it was really quite painful. I can say it because my wife from there I haven't spoken to her in 30 years anyway, but she ran off with she had an affair with my best friend, and obviously as soon as I found out, I just said it's over, it's done, And she's going, "Oh no, we can work it out." I said, "You might be able to work it out, but I can't, So I said it's done, We got divorced, but I gave her everything. I just signed everything over to her.
Yeah,
but it was painful for a good fortnight, So
yeah, for sure.
It's but some people a lot longer.
Yeah, I feel like it's always interesting. I mean, my first one was not the process of divorce is pretty straightforward. The second one was like hellhole because I feel like what happens is, your ex-wife has friends. They'll talk to those people, and those people get in her ear. Well, you know what you should do? You should tell Tom this, and you should go after that. And it's like then they start thinking, well, what's really possible? So, and that's where the lawyers get involved. It gets and it always gets nasty. Always gets nasty.
As soon as the lawyers are involved, because they can't act for both of you, they need to change the rules where you can actually get a lawyer to act for both sides. So if you've got a general agreement with your wife or your partner or your husband or whatever, that you can actually have a general agreement and go to a lawyer, and that lawyer signs up the paperwork. You're both happy with it. But as soon as there's two lawyers involved, the two lawyers are trying to seem like they're having their own personal dig as well. It's like, as I say, it's happy days rear again. It's like you go in to see your lawyer to pay your bill and you're looking at the receipt and it's all itemized. And down at the bottom, there's one down at the bottom, like for say $50. And you say, "Well, what's this one for?" He said, "Well, I saw you when I was walking down the road and I shouted out hello to you." And I went, "But I didn't see you." He goes, "No, but I thought it was you, so that's why I've charged you $50. And that's what it feels like.
Yeah. It was just nuts. Well, Douglas has an interesting comment there. His ex tried to commit suicide as well because her ex-lover would not leave his wife. I drove her to the hospital to save her life. That's a very interesting story. I think we all have like hard stories to tell, stuff
Yeah,
like that changes you as a person. I'm sure that
yeah,
changed Douglas. Like, wow, that's pretty intense.
yeah. I had like an Italian mistress for like about 14 years, and in Tenerife, I got a penthouse there. And there's like so obviously a penthouse is the top floor, so it must be about 150-meter drop to the bottom. And I went up there one day, and my girlfriend was standing on this wall, standing there, and she's telling me on this like 4-inch shelf, telling me, if you dump me, I'm going to jump.
Yeah.
That it wasn't a suicide attempt, but it was a cry for help. And I'm going, come down, babe, come down. I'm like begging her to come down. And I talked her down. I got her down. But my God, that scared the life out of me. She goes, if you dump me, I'm going to jump. And I'm thinking to myself, my God. So I that was just before I come to Tenerife, Thailand, rather. So I went to my lawyer, who's also my best friend, and I said to him, look, you got to do an agreement with her. I said, give her an apartment. I had a few properties. I said, give her an apartment and give her the car and get her to sign the paperwork to say she'll never contact me again because she was off her tits.
Yeah. So did you have to just like pull the plug and never contact her again or something?
No. I had to really do it quite underhanded, really. I'm not proud of it. But what I done was, I said, look, I'm going to go to Thailand. Let's start a new life and you can come over. But I had no intention of taking her to Thailand. So I thought I need to just be out of this relationship. And so she took me to the airport. She was driving the car. She goes, oh, what do you want me to do with your car? I said, oh, no, that's right. You keep the car and drive it around, And it was only a C-Class Mercedes, but it was a nice Mercedes. And but basically, as soon as I got out of the country, I got in contact with my lawyer. And within about 3 days, she goes, oh, how you doing? How you doing? And she goes, you haven't contacted me. I don't think you love me no more. I said, well, to be honest with you, I want to call it a day. She goes, what about the car? I said, well, you can have that. Because I was just trying to keep the peace, because the last thing I wanted it to hear was, oh, she's committed suicide.
Yeah,
that's what I was concerned about, Richard. So I thought to myself, if I left her enough money, if I left her the car, if I left her an apartment, so she was like financially self-sufficient, she might be okay until she finds somebody else.
Yeah. Well, I think that was a smart move. That's a kind move. It's interesting. People always ask, like, what kind of channels do I listen to? Do I watch? I listen to some crazy channels. Like, I don't know if you're the same as me. I listen to like that Redacted one. I also listen to this channel, like Near-Death Experiences. Now, this stuff will rock you, man. You got to check out some of this stuff one of these times, Tom. Like people that have kind of almost passed away or did pass away and then come back.
Yeah.
And everything they say, they almost all of them say the same thing, that they had to review their life with somebody, where they had to take a look back on all the shit they did, like the bad stuff. And I got to tell you, there's some stuff like that first divorce where I'm thinking, I'm not going to like reviewing that one. Like, I want to stay alive just so I don't have to review that.
I totally understand.
I think we all have parts of our life where we're like that. Like, God, if we have to relive that one, it's going to be rough.
Oh, it's because I just say, like, people look at us like, say you're living here in Thailand, and sometimes I was talking to another YouTuber. He's got over 1,000 subs. Chris, his name is, and he's from Ditching Corporate, and he's just a great guy. I really love him. I love Chris because I love his attitude to life. I just really, really like him. But I don't think he'd be everybody's cup of tea because he makes everybody jealous of the way he lives. And I just said to him, Chris, he goes, well, I get all this hate now, and but when I look at people like that, and I think to myself, my God, you don't know how lucky you are to be that positive in life, But he makes a lot of people jealous.
Yeah, because it's important too, right?
Yeah, he won't have no negativity in his life. Any negativity gets it straight out. Same thing. He's been through a very, very painful divorce. He was married to a Filipino, and a very, very painful divorce. But he's such a good guy. He's such a good guy, Mitch made a few comments like he missed a dog. I lost a couple of dogs in a divorce as well. It's quite painful, that is. I screwed up my marriage. I did not have the proper tools. Yeah, it's
So I gotta
it's
tell you,
very,
so I agree with that because like I feel like my first one was like a midlife crisis. I was
Yeah.
36 when it happened, so probably not technically midlife. I don't know. I don't know if there's like an age range for that. But I will tell you, that's where I realized like so we went through counseling, but I wasn't really doing it. I was phoning it in. I was kind of laughing through it, you know. I had
yeah,
someone on the side, and she's like, he has to leave the girlfriend if he wants to be serious about this. And that's one of my big regrets is like I think we probably could have stayed together if I would have taken it seriously and worked on it, you know, and saved a lot of money.
yeah. But I think you're quite happy now, though, aren't you? You seem to be
Yeah,
quite content.
and I gotta tell you, so like I was unhappy. Like I remember watching a movie, I think it was called 7 Years in Tibet with Brad
Yep.
Pitt, and
Yeah,
just
Brad
the
Pitt.
sense of freedom like that I
Uh,
got from watching that movie. I thought, man, I'm so unhappy where I am. What did I do? I got married at 25. That's too young. Shit. So yeah, to your point, yeah, I'm happier, and I'm looking to make like a life changing move in the next 6 months that will change my life, and you know, so I'm excited about that. I just hope the economy just is not as bad as we're all thinking it's going to be, Tom, because man, that's the one thing I can't control, and that actually will control me to a certain extent, right?
yeah, and also as well, you live in California, so the taxes are really high where you are as well, aren't they?
Oh man, I got to tell you, a couple years ago, things were not so good for me in sales, and I adjusted my tax rate. You know where they take the taxes out of your paycheck? I
Yeah,
adjusted that to get more money.
yeah.
Never do that. Anyone in the chat, never do that
No,
because you got to pay sometime. Either pay every week or twice a month, or pay at the end of the year. And that's what happened to me. Huge tax bill end of the year because I adjusted my tax. You know, so that really screwed me. I don't know where I was going with that.
no. I totally agree because when I was a contractor, I used to pay my own taxes. But obviously, when you work for an employer, they pay your taxes for you. So it's very, very hard to get out of paying the tax of what you earn. So when I was working for IBM and Toshiba, at first I was doing it as a contractor, but because they liked my work, they said, "Oh, we want to employ you." So I went to work for them, and obviously you get the benefits which go with that. But obviously the rate of pay is not the same as when you're a contractor. So you'll give in with one and losing from the other. But what I forgot was when I was a contractor, I didn't pay no tax. As an employee, you get hammered for the tax.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
You know, because you can't offset anything. So the only thing I could do, and it should be the same in America as well. So what I done a thing in Europe, a thing called salary sacrifice. So I sacrificed 60% of my salary into my pension fund.
And what's the pension like in the UK? I mean, like, so you get to
Oh,
take that early or how's because in America it's like 62, 65. You can
yeah,
start to get stuff from the government.
yeah. So in the UK, you cannot take if you got a private pension, you can take it from when you're 55. From 2027, they're increasing that to 58. On the state pension, it's now state pension 66.
Oh, really? I thought
Yeah,
like Pattaya Pariah said at one point like 50 or something. Like I thought UK had some crazy age, but I guess not. Probably like same as the US then.
yeah. You need a private pension. If you got a it's called a SIP, a self-invested pension plan,
Hmm.
and they call it SIP, SIPP, and the SIP is a SIP is very similar to a 401. So you have got control over what you invest in. But most people who've got a SIPP, they don't look at what their company's invested in. So a lot of the time they're just investing in poo. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
a couple
People are
of
just
years.
taught to invest, save, and they don't look where it's going.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I looked at I was looking at hedge funds from around the world, the top performing hedge funds, and you know, I thought I was like I thought I was quite a comfortable big hitter when it comes to pension values, basically because of the gold. And so I said to him, I said, I went to this company called Tiger, a hedge fund.
Mhm.
I think it's called Tiger. They're based in New York, and they was giving returns of 66% a year, but they was charging 20%.
Hmm.
So I thought, oh, that's good. I'll put my money with them, you know. So I rang them up and I said, I want to open up an account with you and transfer my funds into you so you can invest for me. They said how much you got, and I told them. They went, "Oh no, you're too small for us."
Wow, really?
Ah, didn't want to know. Didn't want to know. Absolutely crazy. They just said, "No, you're too small for us," and it was like, "Oh, really?" They said, "So, when do you invest the money?" I went, "Yes, I want to invest the money and just draw down the money and live off it." And they're going, "Oh no, what we're looking for people who put, I don't know, 10 million US dollars in, and then they put another $1 million in every year, and then they basically don't take no money out." But at the end of the day, when you retire, you need money to live on as well, don't you? And
yeah. And I feel like that's where a lot of people are now, at least I think a lot of people are now getting it about retiring outside of their home country.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like before you were crazy, like, Tom, you're going where? Like, man, that guy Tom is crazy going to Thailand. What?
Yeah.
But now I feel like everyone talks about it. Like, they realize can't retire in my home country. Before it used to be different state. Oh, I'm going to go from California to Texas. Like, now people are automatically like, yeah, I'm going to Spain, Portugal, Panama, Thailand, Philippines. Everyone's talking about it because they realize, first of all, they don't want to work until they're 65. And secondly, they don't have the savings. Like, maybe they've had some tough breaks in their life. So they have a little bit of money. And I think they realize places like Thailand, you can live, for, if you have a fixed income, 1,500, 2,000. I saw James's cost of living. He said he struggles to spend 3,000 a month. So I think that resonates for a lot of people,
Yeah, even I struggle to do 3,000 a month. I end up buying gold out of that 3,000 as well.
Yeah, smart.
So I draw down 3,000 each month or 3,500, and whatever change I got left, I'll buy gold.
Yeah, that's
on a
smart.
monthly basis, or silver.
Yeah, can you text me your address real quick?
I don't store it here.
Oh, good, smart man. Not like
no,
Ryan.
I do store a few bars here. We've got. But they're ounces, I haven't got a kilo of gold here. I just wouldn't do that, That's safe in Singapore and Switzerland. And the reason why I've done Singapore or Switzerland, because in the past, UK and America have both confiscated gold.
Why is that?
Because it is the currency of the gods. It's the only true currency. The money which they print as. So if you had $100, like say from 2000, that the spending power of that $100 is probably now down to about 8.
Let me ask you this: are you ever concerned that when you buy gold, it's not gold?
I buy it through a bullion dealer. So if I lived in America, I'd use a company called Miles Franklin.
Yeah,
you can check them out. They actually do a pension plan as well. They do like a SIMP. I think so. Is that like a self-invested pension plan? Is it an SIMP? Yeah. So
I think he's making a joke. The simp. I think it's a joke.
Miles Franklin is. They've never had a customer complaint. They're a fantastic bullion company. Then in the UK, there's a company I use in the UK. They're based in central London, in like Threadneedle Street, and they're called the Pure Gold Company. And my gold bullion dealer, I've got my own personal premium agent, and his name's Nicholas. If you use him, I won't earn anything out of it. I don't want anything out of it, but he's a great guy. And basically, he'll ring me up or he'll say, "Oh, Tom, I've got this great deal here. Somebody wants to sell some gold, and I might get it for spot, so I don't have to pay no premiums." And that's how it used to work in the past. So I always go for a bullion dealer. I never buy gold off of eBay. I'm involved in some of the the Facebook forums for gold and silver, but I don't. I never buy off there. I've seen some lovely pieces, but I never buy because
do you
you
think
just
that
can't
happens?
trust it.
Yeah, do you think that happens, Tom? You think people are buying gold and it's not gold? It's like
Yes.
lead covered in gold spray paint.
Well, the trouble is it's gold on the outside, but it'll be tungsten on the inside.
Yeah, so that's it. And that's what they use on the inside?
Yeah.
God,
yeah.
I always wonder about that,
Yeah, so it's a worry, it's a real concern. Kevin, who's just come in to chat, he's just started buying silver. He buys silver every month now, so it's good. You know,
Yeah.
so if you can just buy something like silver or gold on a monthly basis, you'll never be poor. You know, and that's the fact. It's always going to save you, and that's the way it works.
Yeah, I feel like most people get that, but they don't have the money to take any action on it. I feel like when you get older, you start to think that way, like the way you're thinking, like, hey, listen, I need something like foolproof that's going to hold its value. But now I have
Yeah.
no money. I wish I would have known this when I was 20.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, the trouble is, the trouble is when you're talking to a financial investor now as well. The financial investor you're talking to now is normally they're going to be younger than you. So they might be like 35 or 40, 45. Yeah. So they've never lived for a bear market. They've only been living in the raging bull market. Yeah. So they say, oh, you've got to be invested in stocks. You've got to be invested in bonds, like a 60-40 thing or a 80-20 or whatever you want. But the problem with that is when you get to say you're like my age, I'm 63. So if all my money was in say Tesla, well, Tesla over the last year has what's it dropped 40, 50%? Well, at 63, I'm not going to make that back up. So that's the reason why when you get to your 60s, you should be in a safe product like gold, because gold will always protect your spending power. But if you're in bonds and shares, you're in you let's say if you've got somebody managing your account and they're performing well, leave it in that. It's fantastic. They'll do a fantastic job for you. But if you're just a normal guy like me, if you've got gold, silver, platinum, you'll never be poor, because that will never go. Crypto will go to zero, but gold won't. You know, it's held up its spending power for 6,000 years. You know, 6,000 years ago, you used to be able to buy yourself a really nice animal fur coat, you know, 6,000 years ago when it was in the Stone Age. And now, an ounce of gold will buy you a suit.
Oh, yeah. That's much different, right?
Yeah, but it's worked the same for those 6,000 years. You know, or 100 ounces of gold to buy you a nice cave, and now it'll buy you like a small home. You know, and that's the way it works. Yeah, but people need to look at their investments and what they've got. You know, you can't do not rely on any investment company to look after you, because they won't. All they're looking for is their commissions, because you can make. You know, over the last year, there's going to be loads of people out there who've made losses, and there's going to be loads of people out there who've made losses, but those investment companies will still take their commissions, so that they're charging you to lose your money, and I think it's totally wrong, and that's the reason why a lot of people look at me and they think, oh, he's got a London accent, he's a Cockney, he's a bit dodgy, but I work in the most regulated market in the world, you know, where. All my money is 100% legit. I can't get any illegitimate money at all, you know, and that is the reason why I don't monetize my channel, because I have to be white and white when it comes to finances, the way I do stuff. You know,
yeah, interesting.
Because I might have a situation where somebody reports me, like, you know, where somebody threatened to report me, you know, somebody to the immigration. I always remember, and I laughed at them so much, and I just said to him, you don't realise I work in a regulated market, and you can report me to the Pope if you want.
Yeah. It's interesting. You know, one thing Mitch was saying earlier, he posted a comment, like one guy talked to me at a bar, like, why are you such an effing a-hole? And Mitch is like, with a straight face, he said this. And I just wonder, like, so that's what I'm not looking forward to when I come back to Thailand and Pattaya. Is like, when I came before, like, just so you know, like, I came like 26 times to Thailand between 2015 and 2018. Like, I was known around Pattaya, not around the vloggers circle, of course, but like local business and stuff. They knew me. I'm wondering if things are going to be different in that I have no anonymity. I'm not a big superstar, but I have a small channel. I think people will know me. And I'm not looking forward to that conversation, like that Mitch said, like, hey,
I don't think you're going to have any problems at all. I think you have zero problems when you come back. You're going to be fully welcomed when you come back. And I can imagine some of the meetups in Pattaya or John TM or wherever are going to be absolutely massive.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I got to tell you, so one thing I've learned, like, so just so you know, like when I worked at Salesforce back in the day,
Yeah,
I was doing quite well
yeah,
selling marketing software. My boss told me, listen, Richard, I was asking him like, hey, how am I doing and stuff like that. He's like, man, you're doing great. Like you're carrying the team. Like, I don't care where you work from. You work from home, work from the moon. And I thought to myself, oh, I could work from anywhere. So literally like that night, one-way ticket, Thailand, booked it, got a condo in Jomtien. And my big regret there, what I'm getting to is like, I'd said if I had to do it again, I would get like a 2 or 3 bedroom condo. I had a studio condo. I was paying like 15K a month and it
yeah,
wasn't big enough. I needed to have like a separate area to work because one thing people don't tell you about being a digital nomad is it's
yeah.
not that glamorous. In Thailand, you're working at night.
No,
And
exactly. Yeah,
yeah, so, you might have a significant other that's trying to sleep and you're trying to work and like there's that
yeah,
whole thing going on, your circadian rhythms are off.
yeah.
So I always said like if I was to do it again, I would have a 2 or 3 bedroom condo, make that second room like totally
Into an
blocked
office.
out. Yeah, into an office to get the bed
Yeah,
out of there, take it out of the basement, put an office in there, and then
yeah,
have like I don't want to be able to see out. I don't want to be able to
yeah.
see the darkness out. Have
Yes,
bright lights in there. I figure like gotta have bright lights and then the bedroom is all about sleeping. Like don't do anything in the bedroom, it's all about sleeping, and the office is the office. I think like
yes,
that would help because it's tough
yeah.
working at night.
Yeah, exactly. Like I, obviously, I work from in here, which is fine because I'm a minimalist, But in the ideal world, I would have if one of our neighbours sells their condo to us, we can turn it into an office. You know,
Yeah,
like a man cave. I need a man cave. That's what I need.
yeah, yeah. It's so funny because the lighting system I have in my office now, like I start out the day with like bright like white light, and then as it goes through the day it kind of changes. If I'm working after hours, it's more like blue light, blue or
Yeah.
purple lighting, like kind of low key lighting. And I've been told that like white light is very much for focus.
Yes.
So yellow light is like relaxing, white light is more focus. So I
Yes.
think lighting makes a big difference. But I got to tell you, I was talking to Note from the channel Flora and Note. Remember their
Okay.
channel? And Note actually used to work full time. So he would like work at night and Flora
Yep.
would stay up with him, give him
Yep.
tea, coffee, that kind of stuff. And he told me, he's like, listen, I'm stopping that. Like literally it was not healthy for him. Like he was having trouble. Like he was getting sick a lot. He said, you're going against the grain. And I kind
Yes.
of wonder if that's like a real thing. Like if I need to
Yeah.
be concerned about that or not. If you can do it for a short time, 5 years, or if it's really that difficult. I don't know.
Yeah. Would you be tempted to move here and be a digital nomad?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. And I think it would be
I
like,
think it'd really work for you. I think it would work for you because I know from our on our line text that you're up like me a lot of the time. So
yeah, I
yeah,
think it just comes down to time. Like I learned so much in 2015. Like I feel like you were saying, like got to have a dedicated office, bright lights,
yeah,
and you're going out on the weekends. So you got to be disciplined, just like you are in your home country, right? So I don't go out
yeah,
every night, but maybe on the weekends you go out. So I feel like that's why
yes.
Jomtien I think is important. You like nice
Oh yeah,
condo, quiet,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
just a motorbike ride to Pattaya.
Or Pratanac as well. Pratanac.
Yeah, yeah. Are there many
If I
condos in that area though? I feel like that's
oh
mostly
there
homes.
are. Come over here, do an Airbnb, and I will
Mhm.
show you a couple because
Okay.
there's one block that I've got my eye on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah, really, it's just amazing. It's right on the seafront, looking over the bay, and the condos in there are just amazing. And we was talking about it today to Robert Mack, and it's just an amazing place to live
Hmm.
because that Prasinac area is just full of good restaurants, good bars. That area's taking off.
Oh
It's
wow.
totally
Okay.
different to when you was there. It's
That's good to
so
know.
different now. It's so, and what it is, it's got this like it's got this like a Californian feel with free back. Everyone's laid back and friendly, and no problems, no aggravation. Um, like a good hotel to stay there is like the Sanctuary Hotel. If you was just
Yeah.
staying there for a fortnight, my Spanish friends normally stay there. Or if you're willing to stay for longer, then stay at the Sands.
Yeah.
Very, very nice.
So let me ask you this, not to get off topic, but one
Yeah,
thing I saw Mark Thornton Sales Through Life saying, Richard, just better to retire, mate. And I feel like, so I hear you there. And it's definitely something I'm thinking about. But I got to tell you, I'm not really big on retirement the concept of not doing anything. People think, oh, I just want to sit on a beach. I feel like that's how you die quickly. Like,
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you just
Well,
want to
like time to get going said, well, I've got no problems when I come here because nobody knows me, which is fine because obviously time to get going that you're using that as your digital profile, and I totally, as Bobby that is, totally understand that. But I think the reason why like Bobby, me, you, we just do it as a hobby. This, we're not doing it as a living. We're actually doing it as a hobby.
Yeah, I always said to myself, like, I wanted to start a channel just for like when I get to retirement and come to Thailand. I like to have like 1,000 subscribers, something just a base to do this, and then I'll do that like as my part-time gig. Like maybe I'll try to make money off that, make $500 a month. That'd be great. And now I'm at 10,000. Like I've already hit that metric. $500 a month is not a big deal. I can do that with the live streams and stuff.
Oh, it's brilliant.
But what I'm getting to is like I just feel like, oh man, there's got to be an easier way than how I'm doing it today. That's why I think about like Thailand will give you the quality of life. You can still work. I do feel like you got to be smart about it. I read these stories, these news stories all the time. Like every day there's a new one with this guy that was working remotely from Singapore or Malaysia. And they found out, IT found that his IP was not coming from the US. And it's usually some dumb shit that was using like the company VPN or a software VPN. And I've heard the smart way to do it, you got to have both. Like do software VPN, but you got to have like a hard hardware that's going to be your VPN as well. That's the secret.
Exactly. You need to
physical VPN,
set up your,
right?
physically set up your router. Router.
Yeah.
So if you set up your router for VPN, you put your VPN directly onto your VPN, which is easy. It's an easy process. Once you do that, then it's a lot better. Like I use a VPN. I use Surfshark, which I find is excellent, and I just kind of bounce it around between like San Francisco, Los Angeles, Seattle, Malaysia, Cambodia, Bangkok, and London, and Madrid. So
wow, that's great.
Yeah, I bounce mine around, but as you say, a lot of people don't really understand the concept of a digital nomad. So most digital nomads want to work outside their country because they're pissed off with paying the tax, and they're whether it's left or right, they're pissed off with their governments as well. So they want to get out of their country, they want to get away from the governments, and they just want an easier life. So you're living in Thailand, you're doing work in America remotely, and you invoice in Malaysia or Singapore. So where do you pay your tax? That's the question.
In that country, right?
Yeah, because you think, well, because I'm working in America, I should really pay the tax there. But if you're getting your money from Singapore, then, or you're getting your money out of Gibraltar, which is a tax-free state, or the Caymans is tax-free. So
yeah.
It is difficult, but the VPN is so important. I totally agree with you. The VPN, where people muck up, is not having a good VPN.
Yeah, I feel like the physical VPN is the way to go. Like that's the secret sauce. And then just investing in super high-speed internet. And that's the easy part with Thailand because Thailand has better internet than the US. So I feel like that's easy. I do feel like maybe you need to have redundancies in place. Like maybe so if your main internet goes down, you have like a hotspot cell service you can then toggle to.
That's exactly what I've got.
Yeah.
So I've got the local. I use TOT, which is fantastic. That gives me 1 gig down and nearly 1 gig up. That's for 600 baht a month. And then for 1,700 baht a year, I've got unlimited data with True. Just for my broadband.
Yeah. Jay Easy has a comment there. He said he did some work overnight a few times in Thailand due to US hours. You're exactly right. It sucked overnight. I got to tell you, so people don't realize you got to think about this stuff because the one thing that got me back in 2015 when I was doing it, I went to Bangkok. I stayed at the Shangri-La Hotel. Man, this is a nice hotel. Got like
lovely
hotel. Got the best suite that I had. It was great.
Yep.
And I was
the only
working
time
at
you
night.
see poverty, in that hotel is when you look in the mirror.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you for me, or when you go down the hill to like the basic air, that's like, it's crazy. But to stay on topic there with my story, the one thing I forgot to do, I forgot to adjust my time on my computer. So when I was hosting a meeting, going through my
Yeah.
product pitch, it was showing middle of the night. Luckily, I caught it before I went live, but little things like that, like you got to go into your computer settings and make it a manual change. Don't let your computer automatically change the time on your computer
Yes.
because
Yes.
little things like that will slip you up.
It
you
will
know?
do. But the simple way around that as well, the simple way around that is if you do your router, yeah,
Okay.
then set your time, then it will just set it to whatever it is on the router.
See, and I feel like that's the smart way because that physical router is your hub. That's where you are. And
Yeah.
that physical router is New York, San Francisco. So you're
Yeah.
tied to that. So the IP, the computer is pulling from that IP
Yes.
from the router, right? So it's the
Yes.
time is coming from that, not from Bangkok or Singapore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I see, and this shows you how good it is to work here. I had a friend who had some data, and he was doing like an operations rollout for implementation of software, and I think the folder was, I think it was about 2 gig, and so he sent it down to me. He said, "Oh, can you look at it and make any alterations?" He said, "I'll pay you for your time." I said, "Yeah, fine, no problem." So he sent it down to me, and then he was on the phone at the other end, and I sent up like 2 gig to him in about 8 minutes, and he went to me, "How comes I've got this file so quick?" I said, "Well, it's my speed this end."
Yeah. Yeah. He was probably surprised, right? So quick.
Well, I couldn't do that if I was in the UK. I couldn't send it in 8 minutes. In the UK, it would have taken me like probably 20 minutes.
Yeah.
He was shocked because he could see the data coming down, and he was just like, "Wow, what the hell's going on here?" He just
Super
you know,
fast. I feel
yeah.
like that's like the other mistake I made back in 2015 is I had a condo, I had internet in there, but I think it was like the internet that the landlord provided. I didn't know anything about internet connections in Thailand. So I went with it and it was super slow. So I think
Oh,
that'd be the first thing I'd do in the first week is like, hey Tom, where do I go to get fast internet? Fiber
yeah,
optic. Let's get it
we'll be
installed. How long does it take?
yeah. Yeah, because hopefully Chris, he's like a Nomad Productions, Global Nomad Productions. Chris, I think he's changed his name again now. I said to him when he comes over, I said for the first week I'll just go around with you so you get all your IT in. You need to get your IT in place,
Yeah, right away.
So I went onto my router as well because when they set the router up, they actually choked the router. So I went onto my router and changed it. I changed the MUT settings.
Mm-hmm.
And I increased my router speed by 10 times.
So why'd they do that? Because you only paid for a certain plan. They wanted to make sure you stayed at that plan, or
no? I think
That's
they kind of just do it to everybody, and like because they don't give you a password for the router either. I literally had to really search online to hack into it as well.
Well, where'd you get that router? Did you go to 2Com or something? You order that on Lazada?
No, they supply that with when you go to Tutcom. When you go to TOT, you've got a choice of various routers.
Oh, so can you choose like a VPN router?
Yeah, you can actually get an upgraded one. Yeah, exactly.
And is that the one that can be used as like a VPN for elsewhere where you can set the location? Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, that's helpful. I thought I'd have to buy like an extra third party that would then go into this router.
No, you can do. Like you could buy another one if you really wanted to, but these are fiber optic routers.
I feel like Robert Groves
because
has
the
a great
fiber
comment.
optic here comes straight into the apartment. The fiber optic.
That's great. Yeah, that's awesome. He says most condo buildings are locked into certain ISPs. Be careful, do your research. I feel like that would be my first question. Before we take a look at the room, what's the internet service here? What can I bring in? How quickly can I have it done?
It's exactly what I was doing when I was looking at property, or when I'm looking at property. It's like, what provider is it? Because I'm always looking for TOT. Now, some people like Mike, retired working for you, work your ass off. He prefers AIS, but I've used TOT and I'm really happy with it, So I find it very, very reliable, very, very stable. But as I said, even if it comes to it, even now, I could just hotspot my phone to my PC, and I'm online, So
and I bet you that hotspot from your phone is probably faster than my internet that I'm hardwired into.
It is
probably See, so it
Yeah,
just
yeah,
goes to show you,
because Mike said to me, "Oh, this isn't fast," but I go out streaming with it. So the
Yeah.
way I see it, if you can go out streaming on your phone on mobile data, and you're not getting no buffering, like James Chocolate Man, he was out
Mhm.
streaming last night, no buffering, excellent picture. That kind of sums it up for me.
Yeah, it's interesting too because I feel like times have changed. Before it was like you had to show your background, people had to see you. Oh, I don't think you're in America, but now with Zoom, with all the calls I'm on, it's all about blurring your background. That's like kind of the cool thing to do is so
Yeah.
people can't see it and you blur it. And as long as you have like bright lights, people don't know what the hell's going on. You know?
No. Well, exactly, and that's why you need, if you're working. So say you rented an apartment. So if you rented 2 apartments and you got them to take the second room's beds out, you could turn that into an office.
Yeah.
And no one would ever, if you had like the blackout curtains in the room, which don't cost a lot anyway, put blackout curtains in, no one would have any idea what time of day you're working at.
Yeah. I feel like there's a smart way to do it. That could probably be a separate YouTube channel.
Well,
How
yeah,
I did it.
seriously, I reckon you definitely do a video on it because it's like working smart. Like, don't get me wrong, there's going to be people out there trying to castigate you for it and stuff like that, and probably try to grass you up and blah blah blah, etc. etc. It's the depths you have to go to protect your digital profile, your real profile is unbelievable.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure.
You
But
know?
I mean, I'm looking forward to that time. Hopefully it happens sooner than later. I think a lot of it depends on the economy. I mean, no one wants to be looking for a job in America
Yeah.
from Thailand. So hopefully
Yeah.
we keep what I
Well,
have.
Mark's a classic example. All right. So
Oh, did you help him out?
Yeah, I've helped Mark out. Yeah, Mark's helped me out as well. He's a great guy. Mark lives about 2-3 kilometers away from where I live.
Oh, okay.
He's just he's a great guy. Well, but yeah, when he travels here, he's traveling here for a short period of time. So he's he loves his wife and obviously he wants to spend time with her rather than me, which I don't blame him. But he comes out with us occasionally. He's a great guy. Now, Mark has been working in Australia as a contractor. Doing electrical work, he's an electrician by trade. And I was talking to him a few days ago, and he said to me, he said, "I feel so guilty, Tom, about working offline. I need to be there." He said, "I feel so guilty because some people are so used to working in the office, they feel guilty now about not working in the office."
Yeah, it's funny how that works. And
Here he comes. He's online now. Look, I've actually made him come online because of that. Hello, Mr. Nobody. How are you?
Just nobody here checking in. G'day, Richard.
Hey, Mark.
Loved the show the other day, my friend. It was lovely.
Yeah, you and the 12 other people that watched it. Low numbers.
That I'll let you in on a secret. That was me watching it 12 times. So.
YouTube and I are not getting along lately.
No, I thought with the amount of engagement that you had quite a number of people that were watching it. So it looked like a huge
so
amount
interesting.
of engagement.
I thought that's great what you said there, because I got to tell you, the week before, I always look at the number of chat messages. There was only 300 chat messages last week. Usually for me, like 500 to 600 is great. We had 990 chat messages yesterday.
Wow.
So that was huge, but the numbers don't show that. So it's like the lowest live stream of all the live shows. But that's okay. Whatever.
Yeah, it's always awkward as well because it's Christmas as well, isn't it?
Yeah. I think I was telling Tommy J, well, no one can accuse me of buying views with those low numbers.
No.
Thanks, Joe. I'm feeling we've had a absolutely huge day here. A friend of mine, Australian bloke here, who invited us up for Christmas dinner. So I'm in Chonburi, I think that's where I am, halfway between Pattaya and Bangkok. So absolutely massive lunch. He did a honeyed ham. We had chicken. We had seafood. We had salads. Oh, man, I'm stuffed full. Absolutely stuffed full. So
I'm the same.
Just finished the night off with a couple of nice scotches.
No, I was explaining to Richard the way you feel as a nomad, because do you remember when you started doing your contract work? I said, "Oh, excellent, Mark." Shook his hands. I said, "Welcome to the world of being a nomad. Welcome to the nomad club." And I'm not a nomad. I said, "No, you are, because you're working remotely from home." So welcome to the nomad world.
Well, yeah, but I've moved from being a nomad to a nobody apparently. But anyway, that's fine with me. I'm happy with it.
You guys make me laugh so much. I got a wicked laugh.
That's the best laugh. Did you notice on that Vlogger News? I think it was the outro, Tom, where I kind of spliced the clip to where I said a joke and then I went right to your laughing. It's so great. I love being able to edit clips like that out of context.
Yeah.
So great.
There's plenty of that tonight at the Christmas table, but I felt I can imagine how Mark felt. That's what you said to me, Mark, wasn't it? You felt guilty about not being there and working from here in the sunshine.
Look, it's a brand new world, and I've been talking to my mate David here about it again today. And I'm old school, as we say in Australia. I mean, I spent 35 years working in Australia. I'd either work remotely, but on a job site, or I'd work from the office. And now all of a sudden, post COVID or during COVID, it's a whole different game where it's absolutely encouraged and still accepted to work remotely. So my mate David here is going, I'd be getting back to Melbourne and I'd be telling the boss that, if it works for you, I'll work 2 or 3 months at a time from Thailand, and then I'll come back once a month to Australia instead of the other way around where I'm doing 2 or 3 weeks in Thailand and going back to Australia for a month. He said, I'd be reversing it, spend most of your time in Thailand. But, it sounds like an easy conversation to have, but it's not always an easy conversation when you go to your employer and say, listen, but I'm fortunate that I can do my job via a laptop and another screen, and with a VPN that logs me into the Australian server. I can do it from here, and I've done it, and the boss is happy. This is my 6th trip back here to Thailand since April. So you can do it. You can do it. It's just a matter of me having the balls to have a chat to the boss and say, listen, I'm going to reverse it, and I'm going to do 2 months in Thailand and 1 month in Australia. So
yeah.
Yes, Robert. I feel
like
guilty about work, Robert. Yes. Some of us managers, yes, who run the system while you blokes just sit on your ass.
Yeah, but Richard, when you come here, you'd already come here with your work contacts, and you'd probably already have work to come here with, to work remotely. Yeah, is that correct?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, everything's done over a computer, Zoom meeting.
It's the same with Mark. Mark's already got his work in Australia. What? Because obviously there's a lot of nomad channels out there who try and say, "I'll do our course and we'll get you to work and we'll get you this." It doesn't work that way because people don't know you. We're like people like Mark and yourself and me. You've been working in an industry, like say, for at least 20 years. People have built up relationships over that 20 years. So they know if you go to Thailand, they still know you're going to do the work. If you're going to take somebody who's just done some online course and they expect you to do it ain't going to happen over in Thailand.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the thing. And I've followed Tom's posts. Tom's a member of quite a few different chat groups. And I've seen his posts pop up where people say to him, I want to move to Thailand and be a digital nomad. What are your tips for setting up a business? And Tom hits the head on the nail every time. You've got to be established in your home country with an organisation or several organisations before you even attempt. You coming over here, you're as I've been called, I'm a nobody in a country where nobody knows me. I've got no professional relationships. I couldn't do what I do without being first established back in Australia and in the industry that I specialise in. So you can't do it from scratch. You can't all of a sudden have Joe Blow get off the aeroplane with a laptop and say, all right, now I'm here in Chiang Mai with the world's greatest internet. I think I'll set up a digital nomad company. I mean, it's got to be... I can't see how you do it because you haven't built up those professional relationships. You haven't, had a coffee and chewed fat over jobs and all the rest of it, and what your employer expects you to do face to face, and all the rest of it. You've got to have personal engagement with an organisation before you could even attempt to work remotely. I'm sure there's exceptions, right? I'm sure there's industries that you could do travel blogs and all the rest of it. But I tell you, I don't know how much they pay, but if you're over here trying to generate an income, to survive. And people say Thailand's cheap. Well, it is, but it isn't. You know what I mean? So you still need a minimum amount of money to live here. And if you go off the visa that I'm on, you need a minimum of 65,000 baht, which the way the Australian dollar's going is about 15,000 Australian dollars. Now, I don't know what it is, but it's a little bit more than what it is when it was 25 and 26. So you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah, and that's the worry. That's the reason why you can't rely on. If you build that, as Richard was saying, Richard has been working for some blue chip companies. I used to work for blue chip companies. You work for blue chip companies. So the three of us are very, very similar, even though we've worked in different types of fields. So, like, people are coming to you and asking, can you do this work? Do you want to do this work? Rather than somebody who's come out of university, got no work experience, got the qualifications, but don't know what to do with them.
Yeah. And I think to survive, you've got to have experience. Counts for a lot of things, right? Personal relationships, a lot of things. I was approached by 3 different companies at the start in April of this year to come back purely because they knew me. All right, I've been working in the electrical industry here in Australia for 35, 36 years. And, I'm not standing on a soapbox playing my own tune, but, I had built a bit of a reputation, some of it good, some of it bad, but enough that I had 3 different companies approach me and said to me, I don't believe you're retired. If you are retired, would you come back to work? And I said, well, these are my terms and conditions. I want to be able to travel backwards and forwards between Australia and my home. And my home is now in Thailand. So, they were able to, they said, yes, no worries, we'll accommodate you. So.
See you later on, Kevin. I just put your message up there.
Yeah, with the break in the conversation, I got to get going too, guys. But Mark, nice seeing you. And Tom, nice chat today, man. We got to have these more often.
Yeah. I always like talking about nomads and stuff like that because I honestly believe there's a lot of youngsters out there who need educating before they come here. And as Mark said, I'm involved in loads of nomad groups. I didn't realise Mark even looked at my post on that. It just shows you what Facebook's like. But he's right. I really give, like Mark will tell you, I give really good, honest advice, I'd call it, whether it's visas or being a nomad.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you'll be a superb one, though, Richard. It'd be fantastic to have you here as a nomad.
Well, with you guys' support, I can't go wrong.
Oh, you have to come down and live near us.
Yeah, for sure. I'm down. Whatever, man. Sounds good to me. Mark, you're looking great. You're looking healthy, man. Keep up.
I'm feeling it too, Richard. I've been working out
in the bedroom.
Awesome.
And one for Robert Groves. At the Hideaway, we had a function, and all I drank was Chang. And I've been here since 11 o'clock this morning, and all I've drank is Chang. So I'm a convert now. So look out, Robert Groves. I'll be there tomorrow. I'm heading over to Cha tomorrow, so we're continuing the adventure tomorrow.
Well, nice seeing everyone. Thanks for all the love in the chat, too, by the way. I saw all those great comments. Thank you, man. It means a lot to me. Appreciate that. Yeah. And see you guys on the next show.
Yeah, see you later on, Richard. Have a great day.
Mr. Mitch, look forward to catching up.
Oh.
Over to Koh Samet when we get back from Cha so... But I'm gonna pack it in too, fellas. I'm a bit bleary-eyed, and I've got a cut lunch and a compass trip to organise for tomorrow.
Oh, well, have a safe journey, my friend.
No worries, and all in the chat.
I'll catch up with you after you go to Samet.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I'm not working.
We normally dine on a Tuesday and a Friday or something like that.
Yeah, no, sounds good. Actually, my phone's flashing at me. I'm down to 5%. So
all right, I'll speak to you later on, Mark.
So for those in the States, Merry Christmas tomorrow. For those in Australia and Thailand, Merry Christmas for today. And I'll see you all soon. Cheers, guys.
See you later on, Mark. Bye. Seeing you. Bye. And that was the lovely Mark, who's always a great guy. He just lives up the road from me. We live in a fantastic area. It's He lives on a gated estate, I think they call it, and his wife's very happy with her new home, and it's a very beautiful home, and she keeps her home spotless. Anyone else want to come in the chat? Yeah, I'll put a link in. If not, I'll be Eddie Olsen. But I was surprised how many people have come in tonight, to be honest with you. 11 thumbs up, my God. Oh, nearly have an heart attack, 11 thumbs up. You go as well, Mitch. Oh, Mitch is off. Oh, Mitch, bye-bye. I thought he was going to come on. We'll see you later on, Mitch. It was great seeing you anyway. Anyone got any questions at all? Oh, it was a good conversation there about the nomads. Yeah, because I think, Jay, you could be like that when you come over. You could probably work digitally as well because you're the same type of guy. Where you've got so much experience, you could work remotely. You know. How are you, Robert? Anyway, you feeling any better? Is your tongue feeling better than well? Obviously, it must be. And it must. Hopefully, you got some good news coming your way. He's still watching. I thought you'd kind of come on, Mitch, and say hello. It's terrible just talking on the show by yourself. I don't do this. I don't do this live chat for me. I do it for everyone else. I do it for a Sunday night. I get bored. Yeah, working remotely. They are the fastest growing community in the world. They're forecasting. I saw a figure somewhere. It's crazy. It's in the billions. How many billions is going to be within the next 5 years? Because people want to work from home. But as Richard was saying, you just need a really good VPN because I know a lot of people, they, even when you're being interviewed, so if you're being interviewed online, I go, so if I'm talking to somebody and I want to do some private work, say, for example, I will go online and I will put my VPN on, etc., and change the date on my PC and blah, 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 and talk to them so they think I'm actually in the UK. Excellent. Brilliant. Get your results back on the night. Well, proud for you there, Robert. Hopefully everything will be okay. I'll do 80. So walking in my shoes is doing 80% of his work remotely. Yeah. So if you can do it, it's great. And he's doing that as well. But again, because he's already built up his reputation before he come here. You know, and that's the only way to do it. Don't do any of these online trading courses, online digital nomad courses. They don't work. I'm telling you that they don't give you the work. It's all bullshit. Not that I've ever done one, but I'm just telling you, you need to build your own skill level and your contacts in your home country or the country where you're working. Yeah. Mine's cross border because I worked in the UK, but I was involved when I worked for Toshiba IBM. I worked for Toshiba IBM for Europe. But also, I had a lot of contact with America because of third line support. So all the third line and fourth line support was in America. I think there was some third line support in Europe, but I used to prefer speaking to the American guys. Yeah, he's worked for him for years. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was a good night last night, Mitch. Did you have a good night? You got home safely? I had to go, Mitch. I had a Coke because everyone's around me is pissed and I'm sober. It's horrible when you go to a place and you're the only sober one in the bar. My God, it's a killer. But Mitch wasn't drunk though. Mitch was sober. I think Mitch was the only sober one in there. Legendary. So you're coming over soon, Bobby, are you? You're coming over on the 7th. You're not coming down to John TM, though, Bobby, are you? You're going up to. You'll be up at Dave's. I might see you up at Dave's because I'll be travelling soon. Oh, really? Yeah, Bangkok Hospital. They're pretty well ahead of the game. That's the reason why I'm not really worried about my health here. I reckon you get better health care here than what I would do in Europe. I'm not saying it's better than America because I've got no idea what the healthcare cover is like in America, but I know the healthcare cover in the UK is diabolical. Oh, yeah. Oh, Mitch, I'm putting a video together for like last night and today's lunch because we had lunch in Soy 6. Christmas Day in Soy 6. We had such a blast today, but the trouble was I was like shit because how I stayed awake, I really don't know. And I thought today I was going to have lunch and then go do a live stream along the beach with Robert Mack. But after we had lunch in the Queen Vic, which was absolutely fantastic, we come out of there and we were so knackered. We all said, right, we're all going home. And I really don't know how I stayed awake driving home. Yeah, E3 saw me. Yeah, I went there. Yeah, well, Mitch was down there by himself, and when the guy started to leave, there was a few idiots around. So I thought I'd. Here's Jay East.
Hey.
Yeah, so I thought I better go see Mitch last night to make sure, there's an extra bodyguard. He can look after himself though. How we doing? Happy Christmas to you, Jay East.
Merry, Merry, Merry Christmas, everybody. How are you, Tom?
Oh, it's great seeing you, my friend Jay.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
It's so good seeing you.
Yeah, I don't come on often, but it's kind of like that what's that guy in the commercial? But when I do,
Well, you're the original roving reporter, aren't you?
Yeah, and the Costco, right? We were talking about commodities and food prices, and ran around the Costco showing prices of beef, I think it was.
Yeah. Well, it's quite a strange. This is quite a strange channel because we don't really talk a lot about politics, but we do talk a lot about commodities and investments and shit like that.
Mm-hmm. Sure. So, that was a great conversation today.
You enjoyed that?
I think it was excellent, and I think I think you're onto something there, and I think having more of those types of conversations, I think, is going to help so many people, including Richard and myself, and all the rest of us that will be making the move. So.
Yeah. Well, it's quite interesting because like recently I've joined some nomad groups and. Mark docks me out on it. But what it is a lot. The reason why I went onto those because there's a lot of people who want to be nomads because it's a massive growing community, and I just felt like I had a lot of sound, solid advice, free, without because I've been a digital nomad since 2004.
Mm-hmm.
But when I say digital nomad, I've been a digital nomad for all like blue chip companies, like hospitality. A lot of them are hospitality companies.
Yeah.
Because it's a specialist field. But because I understand the hospitality side and I understand the retail side, but also I understand the computer side, it's an easy match for me.
Mm-hmm.
A bit like you because you're an hospitality expert.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say that expert, but
you are an expert because you
30 plus years.
You do an advisory service.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You're just underrating yourself as always.
I'm going to show you a little bit of a dose of outside here since I'm the roving reporter. It would be in proper fashion to show you a little of that. So give me 1 second here. And, if I can flip the camera around. Well, even if I can, I'll just flip this around here.
Yeah.
So show you outside my office window here.
Yeah. I know you don't need no bodyguards, Mitch. It was quite funny. It was funny seeing Nick last night on the stream. He come in with his bodyguard. Oh, that's quite. I've seen him quite a few times with his bodyguard lately. Nick is he okay?
So this is the situation today. This is the situation today, my friend.
Oh my God!
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. Had about.
So you're staying in. You're staying in today, yeah? Or are you your sisters?
Yeah, I ventured out last night a little bit. Finally cleaned off the driveway, the car park, and was able to get outside yesterday. But Yeah, wind chills, minus 22 Celsius, all of the fun stuff that goes along with that. So
Yeah.
had about a foot of snow. Looks like snowfall. It was about a good solid foot of snow.
That snow looks amazing.
Well, if it could look like that and be 75 degrees Fahrenheit, I'd be okay. But
Well,
but not.
today it was 31. It was 31 today.
Very nice. Yeah, I look forward
So,
to getting down, down your way when I get back here at the end of January.
We'll
So it'll be great.
definitely meet up again without a doubt. I can't wait to see you, my friend.
Yeah. Mary's doing well. She's been busy,
Is she?
keeping
As
herself
always,
busy.
well, she got herself another job.
Right. I know. She is quite the driven lady. Yeah, quite the driven lady. Yeah, absolutely. Between all the things that she's doing, with her nursing career and all of that, and that entails and keeps her quite busy there, and
exactly.
and all the rest of it. So, doing well.
So, did you see the online shenanigans? You saw the online shenanigans last night, then? Did you? It was like unbelievable, wasn't it? It was madness.
Yeah, I'm an old guy, man. I probably wouldn't have lasted that long. I'm proud of you guys. You guys hung in there.
I was only in there for about 20 minutes. It was really good to meet up. It's always good to meet up with Mitch. So we was there. There was who was that guy, Mitch? That young guy who had a shirt on similar to me, but it was that's probably the one Mitch told to fuck off, I'd imagine. It was a real strange one. He goes, "I know you. You're fake." I said, "Oh, you must be a friend of Twitchy."
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Robert's saying he understands nomad but don't want to work in. That's right, because you get to a certain age, like me, I just don't. I haven't really worked for 3 years. I've done a little bit, but what I've done work wise is nothing. I've probably do about 40 hours a year, if that.
I think what's interesting is, and I'll just use this as a brief example. So Mary has a son, and he's finishing up university, right? And he's very interested in business, those types of things, and but at the same time, even though that they've been to university and completed the all the requirements that entails, they still have tons of questions about the real world, and so I think that's where being able to take all this years and years of experience, of course, and be able to mentor others and help kind of make sure they get off on the right foot, I think is key.
It's so important.
It's key,
Oh, it's massive. Yeah, it's massive because the trouble is, because they're so sheltered now in school, because you're so sheltered, they expect it to be the same thing in the workplace. But if you're in a fast-moving, driven workplace, it's not like that, is it?
No, not at all.
No. Because when you're in a workplace and things are moving fast, and somebody lies to you in the workplace, i.e., like contractual dates, contractual finish, and what they know and don't know, and then they're clearly lying. It's just it's a recipe for disaster, isn't it? And we've both come across it. And I talked to you before. We've both come across that.
Yep, exactly.
And that's where really people like yourself, Mark, me, Richard, that's where the difference is. Because if somebody says to me, "Oh, can you do A, B, C, D, and E in a week?" I say, "Well, I need to look at it first." So I look at it and say, "I can't do A, B, C, and D, but I might be able to do it in 10 days instead of 7." Because you've got to be real. You got to give the customer a realistic target as well, haven't you? So, so like the last offer I got was they wanted me to support online support a implementation and it was only basically throwing PCs onto network servers, onto the company server, and but it meant working all night, and I just seriously, the money was fantastic, but I just couldn't be driven to do it.
Well, I think what's interesting is I was involved in a project here, several projects, and a couple things that I step back and think about it is at our company anyway.
Yeah,
is the technical team has always kind of waited. Well, at least the last 2 years they've waited until basically the last quarter of the year to want to do a series of projects, right?
Yeah.
And for no particular reason. It's not like it's a hard requirement. It's not like it's PCI compliance. It's not like it's, it's just all these things start to come to fruition.
Cheers, Robert. Yep.
And I'm like, well, why are we waiting until the last quarter of the year to try to ram all this stuff in? I get budget, money, the money's been budgeted, but it's been budgeted for all year. So why are you waiting, right? And so then the second thing that comes up was one of the project managers came and said, first words out of their mouth was, "Oh, this is going to be a very easy, very easy implementation." Really? Yeah, very simple, not much involved. Really? Yeah. Have you been through this implementation before? No, this is my first time. Well, how do you know it's easy? How do you know it's easy?
As soon as somebody tells me an implementation is going to be easy, that scares the shit out of me.
Yeah, I said, okay, well, let's meet.
I've never had one. Like when I was doing implementation between 2004 and 2008, so it was a 4 years solid. But I was doing contracts between 8 weeks, 32 weeks, 16 weeks, however long the contract was. This was like for software implementation. I always used to add another 2 weeks or another 4 weeks, depending on how long. So if it was a 26-week contract, a 6-month contract,
so
I'd put another month on that because you had the clearing up to do.
Well, here's what I said. I was like, so you've never been through it before, right? So where are you getting your information that it's going to be easy, And then I said, oh, well, let's go meet for coffee, shall we? And so we sat down and we met. And after about an hour-long conversation, they said, I had no idea. so there you go, right? But I'm really looking forward to stepping out of the mayhem and getting all that wrapped up and see you later, Mitch.
Love you, brother.
See you later, brother. And getting myself back to where back to Thailand and just be able to relax and take it easy and decompress, my friend. I tell you,
as I say, there are opportunities, but you just got to look at them, and that's what I've been looking at. Really, I've just been looking at them, thinking, well, I could do this because what it is, my wife's bored shitless. I'll be honest with you, she's just so bored because obviously she was a nurse in the UK and she's so bored here. So I just think, well, if I'd done assisted living, she could just go and work, and that way, hopefully we'd have it'd be better for our relationship as well.
So you got to build a wing, though, Tom. If you're going to do it, then you got to build a wing for the rest of us to come and stay, right?
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Well, I'd have a grand opening, wouldn't I? I'd have a grand opening weekend, because you'd want to try it out with able-bodied people first, anyway, as well, So, and if I had people like yourself with Mary and Mitch with his girlfriend and Mark with his girlfriend, and no doubt Joe and Joe on here, but Robert and his wife hopefully would come over, and Joe and Gift and James and Farr and. Chuck and Paige. So if you're one of those people, you want to get your result to be working at the maximum, because you know if you can cope with that, you can cope with anything.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, I
plus
think the difference. I think the difference is though, like you guys were talking about, trying to accommodate U.S. clients, right? Like
yeah,
for an example, and of course, meetings and scheduling and
yeah,
all the things that go on, right? You
yeah,
you know you try to work under a U.S. timetable in
yeah,
Thailand, daily schedule.
yeah,
You're basically working overnight hours, right? And
yeah,
I have to say, like I just don't want to do that. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
I tried it. I did it a little bit, even the
yeah,
last trip when I was over with Mary, and, Mary's asleep and
and
I'm
you're
burning the
working.
midnight oil, and I didn't like
Yeah,
that feeling, I
yeah.
didn't like that feeling. So I said,
And,
well,
and
that's
and it is the same for Europe as well, and that's the
yeah,
problem.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
because at the moment in Europe, it's like
hmm
in Europe it's coming up to like it's the afternoon, so it's like
yeah,
4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon in Europe.
right.
So
Like right now it's 10:30 in where I'm at in the States, right? So
yeah,
I didn't like that feeling, right? Because I felt like I was just wasting, I was losing time, right? Losing time, uh, with her as opposed to, uh, you know, uh, just being in the present and being there, So for me, you know, it kind of to Mark's point, you kind of basically say, look, here's my requirements.
yeah,
I'm going to live in Thailand, and then you're going to have to understand it could be a 24-hour lag time before I get back to you about anything, because I'm not
yeah,
gonna, I'm not gonna
yeah.
put
Well,
myself through the
I
paces
think
on
you got to
that.
be honest, but and that's the reason why you need those business contacts before you're here,
Yep, yep.
because they know. Like obviously, uh, Jay, we've never
hmm
worked professionally together in the professional field, but no, I've got no doubts talking to you, being around you, even for a short amount of time we've been, you're driven and you want it done.
hmm
You want it done today. You're not thinking about tomorrow. You're thinking about getting your work done today. You probably work quite smartly as well.
mm
So when you're looking at that, then it's like, oh God, But if you're working with people, as I say, when the people contacted me and they're going, "Oh, Tom, we want you to do this, this," and I said, "Well, why do you want me?" Because I said, "Well, we know you're there."
hmm hmm hmm
But it would have meant me starting at really, it meant me starting at midnight and working through to about 7 o'clock in the morning.
hmm Yeah, I just don't want to do that, So,
And the work was easy, but
hmm
I just couldn't
right. I mean, when
I
I was a
couldn't
young man,
I
when I
couldn't
was a young,
motivate myself to say yes.
yeah, I think when I was a young man, it's no problem, right? You have the energy and what have you to do that. But once you know, spend enough time in a field and, experience and so forth, and you kind of work through that process, and then,
Yeah,
you're towards the end of that, I'll call it that life cycle and all of that. Now, and you've worked hard and planned and saved and done all those things, and then
yeah,
yeah, life happens, and there's some things that happen. They've happened to all of us, and some people have graciously shared their stories here, and
yeah. We done it tonight with Richard.
which
My God,
is
I never realised he'd even been divorced. I didn't
which
know
is
that.
amazing. It's amazing to hear the stories because we've all been through things, and
We're all quite similar. We're all very similar.
yeah, yeah, I think it's very interesting, and
It's amazing as a group of people. I know Robert said he's a friend of like Twitch or whatever. Like when he said I'm a friend. Now whether that was a joke or not, I'm not so sure. But
hmm
all I know is that I always judge people by the people they hang around with.
hmm hmm hmm
Like even when I worked in the professional world in Europe, the people I hung around with, I knew I could rely on them.
hmm
So I knew
hmm
there was going to be no conflict, no bullshit. It was like, that's the job, get it done, let's move on to the next one.
hmm
And if somebody did make a mistake, they put their hands up straight away and said, look, I've made a mistake. Right, okay, you made a mistake, let's move on. Rather
hmm
than somebody make a mistake, then the person grasses them up and it causes aggravation and causes in-house aggravation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because at the end of the day, we're all out there to protect each other as well. You know, we're out there.
Yeah,
to,
well, I just think it's such a great community, great network of people.
Yeah.
And I have to say, you know,
like tonight's conversation with
mm-hmm,
Richard, I really enjoyed that.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah, and I have to say, you know, once I feel personally, I feel after like you know spending some time with you and certainly, you know,
yeah,
that first meetup with Mitch and having a really
yeah,
good conversation
yeah,
about some things that you know, just based on the community of great people,
yes,
that it just makes me feel 1,000 times more supported. You know,
yes,
once as I'm making the move, before I make the move,
yes.
when I make the move, and certainly after I make the move. You know, I just that boy, I tell you the I won't call it anxiety, but the uncertainties have come
See you later on,
way,
CJ.
but the uncertainties of all that have come way down, you know, way
Yeah,
down. So
yeah.
I feel just fantastic about it.
Yeah, yeah, I think you should do as well. I think you should feel quite because don't get me wrong, it's all right me saying that, but I obviously I had the same feelings as you
Mm-hmm.
because like the biggest thing is obviously, as I said, I don't know if you called it in the chat earlier, but the biggest thing was when I stopped work. Okay, that's my check stopped, so that's my payroll finished, done.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
and then but it was my wife's as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's not two
Mm-hmm.
payrolls,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and you know at the time, like Pride was working really, really hard. She'd work all hours God send, and she used to save 1.5 million, not dollars, but baht every year, which doesn't
Mm-hmm.
sound a lot for. It does sound a lot, even for Americans or the UK to save that type of money.
Mm-hmm.
That's like 1.5 million dollars every year. She used to save that, and so when you're saving that type of money and to give that up,
Mm-hmm.
my wife's raging to go back to Europe. She wants to
Mm-hmm.
go back to Europe.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't want to be here, you know, and she's got my bloody daughter at it. It's got Anna at it as well, you know, Anna. And so if Anna gets upset, she comes up to me and says, "Dad, I want to go back to the UK," you know. It makes it very hard on me as a dad. I feel like I failed. You know, it's very difficult, you know. But
Well, you know, I mean, you know, and I've done those soul searching type of things, and you know, as well. You know, and sometimes you kind of go back and forth a little bit, but you know, I'm just convinced now that you know now more than ever, really, that you know, and I've talked to several folks, right, and you know, that I very value their opinions, and I've got a really good friend of mine that I've known for over 40 years that lives in Singapore now, right, from the
yeah,
States. We grew up
I
as
remember you talking about him.
remember him? Yeah, remember him
Because he
telling me.
sold up where he was. He was a
Yeah.
neighbor. Yeah, he was a neighbor and a friend. Yes.
Well, him and I were childhood friends, and then remained friends to this day. You know,
Yes.
and so you know, I know him. You know, he knows me probably better than anyone, and certainly I know him. But you know, and I'm not, you know, living by his example, but it's just case in point that when the time come and the opportunity came for him to make a decision about where he wanted to be, he decided, and they moved. You know, obviously his wife's from Singapore, but they moved to Singapore, and after a few years, he had to come back here to take care of a few things. And during that visit, that was, you know, he told me that, you know, hey, you know, I'm probably not coming back here again. You know, meaning he's not coming back to the States. You know,
Yeah, and it's really tough when you tell your friends that. It's really
yeah,
because
but that was all
you're going to
right.
have this.
Yeah, but that was okay. You know, and I said, well, you know, hey, you know, best of luck, right? And I understand it. You know, um, and that was 6 years ago, right? And he has not, you know, there's no compelling reason for him to come back, right? He worked his, you know, worked his life, you know, planned and worked his life through and did all the things he needed to do here, and now it's time to go enjoy the next chapter of your life, right? So
Yep.
for me, you know, that's really what you know. And so when you think about all that, you're like, well, Thailand kind of really unequivocally checks all the boxes for me, you know. So
Yeah,
even
it does.
more so than here in the States. I mean, you know,
Yeah,
and I don't have any qualms saying that. I mean, I just, you know, I
yeah,
think
yeah,
it's
yeah. Well, I'm
it,
quite sure when you come over, I think you'll be quite an active member of
mm,
our like dining society, if you know what I mean. So,
mm-hmm.
and obviously because we've opened the dining society up to women now as well.
Mm,
It's
nice.
quite good because like well, the thing is when you get someone like Mary,
Mm-hmm.
she's got something productive to add to the conversation.
Right. Yeah. Well, we
You know,
definitely.
I only spoke to her shortly, but I
Mhm.
thought, fuck me. I said, I just knew she was driven and switched on, you know?
Yeah. Well, she's definitely. We connect on, you know, so many levels intellectually and all the rest of it that it just, you know, it's
Yeah, but it's really nice to hear.
really good. Really good.
I've got a couple of ladies I know here in Pla,
Mm.
and they're driven.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely driven.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll
Now,
say
don't get me wrong,
Thai.
they haven't got a bad life
Mhm.
either to go with
Yeah,
it.
right. Yeah, Thai women are some of the most hardworking, driven people that I've ever had the pleasure to meet. You know,
Yeah,
so.
like one of them hasn't had a boyfriend for like 4 or 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And she just says, I don't need a man in my life. I'm happy in the way I am.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think the thing I respect a lot about Thailand is the fact that there's not a safety net, right? So it's you you know you go to school, you get your you know you go to university, and then you know you go to work somewhere, do something, you know, or you
Yeah,
start a business, or you start a business, right? Or
yeah,
and I just find that very I don't know, just to me it's just, you know, you're taking ownership of your life and you're doing something about it, you know, and I
yeah,
think that's
yeah,
just phenomenal,
yeah.
you know.
What I admire, because I don't think you see it in America. You definitely don't see this in Europe. I just love it the way they open up these little businesses on the side of the roads.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So that
Absolutely.
we call them in Europe, we call them a SME, a small business enterprise or something it's called. You know,
Mm-hmm.
SME we call them. But it's those which drive the economy really.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
But I take my hat off to them because they're opening these businesses. They've got no big corporation behind them. They're just doing it by themselves, you know. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
and they will work at it 24 hours a day to get it working.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it takes a lot. It really takes a lot. Small, medium economy. Yeah, yes, that's the one.
Mm.
Cheers, ET. Just
Mm-hmm.
shows you where I've been out of it for such a long time. You know. But
Well, it's kind of like the SBA in the States, right? Small Business Administration, and they
yeah,
work to support small businesses and so on and so forth.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is the trouble I find with all governments, whether it's UK, it doesn't matter left, right, or whatever. Whether it's America, whether it's Europe, anywhere in the world, they're not looking after those people. They're looking after the corporations.
Right. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's definitely up to the entrepreneurs, you know, like small business entrepreneurs, you know, they really have to be driven and really work at it to, you know, make
Yeah,
things happen. So it's very interesting, you know, very interesting.
yeah. It's an interesting life. It's an
Mm-hmm.
interesting way of life as well. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but
For sure.
when you're here seeing it, yeah. But when you're here permanently, I've got a
Mm-hmm.
funny feeling, Jay. I just think you're going to end up spending a lot of time down in Pratanack. You know, I don't know whether you'll just come down from the Friday Club or something, or
Mm-hmm.
because I can't see Mary giving up work. She's not going to give up work, is she, Mary? When you come?
She's no, you know, she's gonna retire, you know, not too much longer, in a couple of years from you know, from her career there, and
Yeah.
uh, but
Oh,
she's been doing a lot of.
that's a shame because I was going to be
Mm.
looking for customers from her place.
Well, when I say she's going to retire, I mean, you never know what next really entails, right? After
No,
that.
no,
So, and
no.
I can't see her just sitting on her laurels. She's a very active person,
Oh,
and
maybe Mary and my missus might get together and do it together.
so yeah, she's very active. Even on her, like, when I'm not there, of course, her schedule uh, for things that she's involved in outside of her well, I'll call her full time career,
Yeah.
is full. I mean, she's
Oh,
stays so busy. It's wild. So,
yeah.
but it's good. Her mom's 84, and her
Wow.
mom, good Lord willing, still doing health wise, doing all right. But her mom stays up in Nottoburi with her brother and
Okay.
his wife. They have her brother has a company
Yeah.
and so forth, and uh, they do all right. Um, so they're taking care of their mom.
Yeah.
Her mom used to live by herself up in Nan province,
Yeah.
and that of course, after a period of time, they just she needed to be closer to everyone to
Yeah.
make
Yeah.
sure she's
Exactly. 84.
taken care of, right? So,
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
Well, and the thing is as well, all she's getting is, I think, the state pension here, unless you've
right,
got a government job. I believe
right,
it's
right.
800 baht a month.
Yeah, yeah. So that's a non-issue for her, really, because she's,
Yes. Yeah. She's
right,
got the family. She's
and,
got the
and
family
got
support.
in the family, obviously,
Yeah.
and it's great, and she's well taken care of. So,
Yeah.
and I'm happy for Mary because her mom's much closer now, being just north of Bangkok there, right, in the Nottoburi suburb, right. So she's able to go see her much more frequently than maybe she had been in the past. So very, very, very happy about all of that, and yeah, things are good.
Yeah.
So
Things are
very
looking
happy.
good, aren't they?
Yeah, things are good.
So
So
when you coming over? When you?
end of January, I'll be back. I'll be back
Okay.
over. So
What are you here for 3 weeks or?
be about 3. Yeah, just shy of 3.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's never long enough though, right?
You
It's
you
never.
you going down to near Pan Pan again?
I love the food, but I think we will. Uh, I know. I want to
No,
come
no, no,
down.
no. No, I was just wondering where you were staying.
Oh well, we haven't really figured that part out just yet. It's not really any urgent need to book down that way just yet.
Okay,
Obviously, I'll be in when I arrive, I'll be in Bangkok, and then after that,
okay.
we'll be heading our way down to Jam Tien, Pratam Nok area. It's funny you say that because I said, well, told Mary, I said, I didn't get a chance to see Mitch last trip. I want to be able to
Yeah,
connect with Mitch and
yes.
connect with you guys, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
Well,
all of that.
Pratnack's
So
ideal. Pratnack is ideal.
yeah, so I'm sure we'll
Uh,
stay somewhere around that area. It's no
yeah, the
problem.
Sanctuary Hotel.
Yeah, yeah.
Check out the Sanctuary Hotel. It's
Mm, mm,
I'll see if I can find it for you. I love it. All my Spanish friends who are all lawyers.
mm, mm.
Um, they all stay, but they're not criminal lawyers. They're corporate lawyers. They all stay there,
Mm,
and they are. These guys have never been married. None of them. They're all now in their 50s,
mm,
coming up to their 60s. They're a little bit younger than me. None of them have ever been married, and they swear by the place.
mm. Nice.
Just trying to find it. I'll throw it up in the
Yeah,
this hotel.
I was quite happy with the resort that we stayed at there
Yeah.
the last
Oh no,
time,
but we got in
but
Pratanack. We got great eating places.
yeah, but I think this time we want to stay a little more in town, and
Yeah, yeah,
so Pratam Nok or Jam Tien will really be
yeah. That's what I was
be
saying.
good.
Like the when I don't know why that hasn't come up.
Oh, that's all right. I
It's called
appreciate.
check if you check it out. It's called the Sanctuary Hotel.
Okay.
I'm just having a look now. Yeah, it's a Sanctuary Hotel, and it's the dog's bollocks. It really is. It really is a good place.
Mm.
And this is how good it was. When my friends stayed there, they was going to stay there for a week. They ended up staying there for like 3 because it was so good.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And it was all about location because you've got Peaky Blinders nearby.
Mm.
You've got the restaurant you like, the YouTube, what's it called? You got Condoms and Cabbages, and what's the other one?
Oh, Three Mermaids.
Three Mermaids. And you've also got the Cajun Life there now as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so you've got all these new restaurants nearby, so you're totally covered. But you've also got all your Thai food. You've got the indoor Thai. You've got a Thai market there, so you've got all your Thai food. You've got everything there, and the whole area is really safe. It's so cosmopolitan as well. Yeah.
Well, that'll be great. Yeah, I'll check that out.
See you later on, Bobby. It was nice seeing you.
See you, Bobby.
So Bobby's coming over soon as well. He's coming over here soon as well.
Yeah, we kind of jokingly talked about that one day, and it was Gator Jake and Bobby and myself, and we said, well, let's have a meetup. Let's meet up for dinner at the airport because of our schedules coming and going. It was funny.
Another meetup I'd like to do as well is a meetup at Dave's. So say you was here, Bobby was here, Jake was here. Just go up there for the weekend, Just go up there. There's a great hotel there, and it's just around the corner from that because Dave lives really close to the centre of Surin.
Okay.
He only lives 500 meters from the centre of Surin.
Oh, that's not far at all. Wow.
Yeah. People don't when they look at his house, they think, "Oh, he's out in the country." No. He's in the centre of town. Like the hospital he was in where he nearly lost his life. He was only like a 2-minute ride away. So,
okay, I see.
Yeah. But it'd be quite nice to just meet somewhere else other than.
Take a road trip.
Yeah. Like what we're doing at the moment, because we're doing this Eat Out Patio. I'm sure you'll be a member of it when you come.
Yes.
Permanently, an active member, because it's called Eat Out Patio, so it could be Bangkok, it could be anywhere. The videos can come from anywhere, because it's an Eat Out Patio. Eat out of patio.
Yeah, but really, I'll tell you what. I tell you what, though, it's you guys are doing great work with the channel, and I think the videos showcasing some great restaurants and the great food and
we done what we could for the Wombat. The Wombat now is absolutely packed, but it's so packed we hardly go there because when we go there we can't get a table. There's no two ways. Steve would make a table for us. There's no two ways. Yeah, Steve's always been very appreciative of everything, like what Mitch and me and TT and everybody, Kevin, the Wake Up's done for him. But it's so busy. I just don't want to give. We don't want to give.
Well, the Wombat's just a great melting pot of community of people that get together, and of course the beach right across the view. Just a great spot, right? Yeah. And you just feel at home there. You really do just feel at home there. I know I did when I went there that day.
Yeah, you do. It's safe. It's a safe environment as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it was great. So
that's the other thing, being safe. But no, I look forward to you coming over. Yeah, we'll meet up there because we can go to Cajun Lifestyle.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, very, very nice. Yeah,
actually, a really nice restaurant, the Cajun Lifestyle. But you haven't been to Peaky Blinders yet either, have you?
Not yet. We were talking about that when I was out there last, and we're like, maybe we should go there. So we'll definitely.
We was at Peaky Blinders on Friday with Mitch and we was there Friday with Mitch, Ryan, Carbo.
Mm.
We was all there Friday. You know, I don't know if I've done a video on it. I'm not sure if I even done a video. I'll put some video. I'll put some pictures up on Facebook.
Okay.
You on Facebook? You on?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
have to link up
Well,
on Facebook.
I would say.
But all my Facebook is just pictures of food.
Yeah, I would say I'm mostly an observer. You know, it's more like
Yeah.
you know, it's just a way for my immediate family to, you know, brothers and their families to post pictures and things of that nature, you know, and so I rarely use it for any sort of engagement of any kind, you know.
Yeah, well,
So,
I've got a link. I've on my about page on my channel page. I'm sure. Let's have a look. Just check.
but yeah, that'll be great though, Tom. It'll be great to
I've
get over
got
with everybody.
yeah, right. So on my banner at the top. So if I just share this. No. Yes. Yeah. So see that? That's my banner.
Okay.
And then you see that Facebook? I believe that's the link to my Facebook there.
Okay. I see it.
Yeah, yeah, it's my link. So you can
Okay.
do it from there. Yeah.
Excellent. Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
Well, look,
yeah,
I'm going to go ahead and get off here so I can get a few things done today.
I've got to go as well. It's nearly 11 o'clock. It's been the longest stream tonight.
Been a great
I thought I was going to
stream.
be off of here by 9 o'clock,
Yeah.
but when me and Richard started talking about nomad life, it kind of
yeah,
you know.
great dialogue, and when you know, it's I think those kind of conversations will be great to continue those. You know, I just think great stuff, great stuff.
They're realistic ones. Like, don't get me wrong, Twitchy, he does loads on nomads. The difference between me and him is I just don't agree with what he says.
Right. Well, I think
some of it I do agree with. Some of it I do agree, but he's never really worked as a nomad in the commercial world.
Yeah.
He's not a nomad now because he's working for a company.
Yeah. Well,
I see a nomad as working out of your own country.
Well, here's the thing, though. Like, if you're gonna go into, you know, put yourself out there in a public forum, if you're gonna put yourself out there in a public forum, right?
Yeah.
In the public eye, and there's one, you know, there's one aspect of certainly of being true to yourself and being honest and all those types of things, and that's, you know, integrity is key. But I also think there's something to be said that if you're going to say, what's that old adage? If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all, right? So I think, you know, I just think that there's, you know, that piece of it, right?
I think I'm down that line of thought. Like last night, Mitch and Ricky Drama were in the same bar. They got photographs with each other, you know, really friendly, and they're both friendly to each other, so that's fine. It's cool.
Yeah.
It was all love and peace, you know what I mean? That's what you want. You want
right.
You don't want drama, and I go, I didn't come here for drama.
Exactly.
You know?
Yes.
I come here to retire. You know,
like
before I come to Thailand, I thought the whole YouTube community. If you talk about the YouTube community, I thought they all loved each other. It wasn't until I got here I realised they all fucking hate each other.
Yeah, there's a bit of an element of that out there somewhere, right? So
yeah,
it kind of reminds me of the crazy expat story I think I told you about, where I'd always heard about this mythical unicorn called the crazy expat, right? and the you know the
can we do a course on it? Can we do a course on it?
yeah, and so the last trip, you know, I'd always heard stories, right? And of course, you know, some of those, though, you see people live streaming, it's under circumstances in which alcohol's involved or whatever, and so crazy things happen. But so at any rate, I'm in Bangkok, and Mary was working at the hospital one day, and so I said, "Well, I'm going to go to the Big C." You know, it was not far from where I was. And it's in a predominantly, you know, Thai district, you know, around the area, BTS area, not far from where Mary's hospital is. At any rate, So I take a stroll. I go down, take a walk down to the big C,
Yeah.
and proceed to get what I wanted, what I needed to get. And then I'm like, oh, it's about lunchtime. I'm a little bit hungry, and so I walk around the food court there, and I didn't see too many. There was some Thai food there, but I just didn't really. That wasn't really. I wasn't really feeling it. And then I saw the KFC, and I was like, oh, I've never eaten in a KFC in Thailand before, but maybe now's my opportunity. Let me do it.
Yeah.
So I did. I ordered my food, and it was a good meal, I have to say, much better than in the States. And so as I'm sitting there eating my chicken, right, quietly by myself, peacefully eating my chicken, I look
Yep.
up, and all of a sudden there's a gentleman sitting like a stone's throw away from me on a stool where some of the Grab drivers were sitting, had been sitting waiting for their deliveries, right?
Gotcha. Yep.
And then of course he strikes up he was it's like one of those moments where somebody that kind of looks like looks
Yep.
at you and realizes,
Yep.
oh, there's another Falong, and
Yep.
whatever.
Yeah. I understand.
Yeah. So he proceeds to starts to talk to me a little bit, oh, do you stay around here? And so right away though, like my spidey sense went up, right? Because I'm like, wow, I don't know the guy. The guy's approaching me. Maybe he's friendly. I'm not sure, whatever. But
Yeah. I understand.
yeah, how long you lived? It was like almost like interesting. Like, oh, how long you stayed here? Oh, do you stay around here? Where do you stay?
Yep.
And so I just kept myself kind of reserved and kind of continued on. And I don't know what happened, but almost like there was something that he said. Oh, he asked me if I've been boosted or something like that, like talking about the COVID vaccination.
Oh yeah, it's about the old Wuhan.
Right. And I was like, well, yeah, I definitely want to err on the side of caution, and want to make sure I didn't have any issues coming into Thailand,
Exactly.
And then almost immediately, man, this guy like flips on a dime and goes into this tirade about he's been there 18 years and had a business and lived over near Planchit area before, and now he lives in this area, and he had to all these things that happened to him due to COVID, the business and this and that. His face was getting red, like he was so animated and like fired up, and I'm just like, wow, man, what happened? What just happened here? Like it was just so bizarre, and so I just sat for a minute. I didn't say anything, and I just said, well, it's nice to talk with you. I want to I'm going to go ahead and finish my meal now. Thank you.
Yeah.
Have a nice day.
Yeah.
Have a nice day. You're living in paradise, and all you want to do is complain, man. I'm sorry for you. Have a nice day.
Yeah. Yeah. I was out with Mark. Me and Mark was out once in the patio. I was talking to a guy, and the guy said to him, "Oh, this is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong." And Mark, I said to him, "Well, why don't you just fuck off back home then?"
Yeah. Right.
He said it politely. He didn't say it aggressively. He said it politely.
Sure. Yeah.
And the person like looked at me as if Mark had two heads. But to be honest with you, we'd just heard enough.
Yeah.
And the nice thing about our community, or the crime family, as they call it, the nice thing is we're all very, very similar.
Yep.
Yeah. So when you start talking about business, I really listen to you because and everything you say, because we come from the same type of background in business, in hospitality wise, everything you say, I've either been there, done it, or had the t-shirt through experience of years. And it's really nice to hear, and it brings things back to you as well, because you obviously there's a lot of things you do within your working career over 40 years, and you forget.
Yep.
And somebody says, "Oh, have you ever dealt with this before?" And well, oh no, you don't deal with it that way anymore. You deal with it this way, and what they're saying, and you think, "Fuck me, I must have been living in the days of the dinosaur."
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what was interesting to me is, so this is something simple, but I I was researching, what SIM cards I want to use when I came back over, right?
Yeah.
And in my search for information, this thing came up called eSIM, right? I'd never heard of an eSIM before.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, what is that? What is that?" So then I researched it and found out AIS has eSIM capability. Probably all the carriers probably do,
Yeah, they
but
have.
I'm like,
Yeah, it's a nightmare to
yeah,
register, though.
yeah, but I'm like, oh well, what's that about? So then so I was excited to know I could, use an electronic SIM and not have to go through switching SIM cards, just for ease of convenience, right?
Yeah.
And all that. So I get there, and I go to the airport when I got there, and I'm like, oh yeah, this was, uh, and they're like, oh, you can't get that here at the airport. You have to go to the store, like a proper AIS store.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, no problem. So I do. I go there, no problem. They set me up, no problem. It's nice and smooth. And then, so when I came back, in when the last time, I already had my Thai phone number then at that point, right? Because of my eSIM. So when I came back, I just stopped. I'm gonna stop at the airport and ask them again. So I grabbed my bag. I'm in the airport. I stopped by the AIS counter and I said, "Hey, I have this number, right? My Thai number.
Yeah.
It's already eSIM. It's already eSIM programmed. Can you guys just turn it back on for me and top it up?" They're like, "Oh, let me check, sir." They're like, "Oh yeah, that number's still active, still good. Yep, 200 bot, 200 bot." I'm like, "Okay."
It was done. Okay.
And
Yeah, but
off I went.
it's interesting because my
Once you
Spanish
go,
my Spanish friends had done the same thing with the eSIM.
yeah.
But when they got here, they couldn't get it working. They could not, and I couldn't get it working.
Yeah. So
Apparently, you got to register it outside the country. Is that correct?
No. So what happened is, I had to go to like a Central World or Central Festival or whatever the first time to get it set up, right? Which is basically they're basically activating a Thai phone number for you, right? And then they just program the eSIM. And it took them all of maybe, I don't know, 10 minutes at the AIS store at the mall.
Brilliant.
And so it was like 300 baht for the month, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Unlimited data, all the rest.
So what I was doing with my Spanish friends, when they come over here in August, obviously they had free Wi-Fi and they was using the Line app. Got them to download that before they got here.
Yeah.
And then when they got here, because I was going out with them every day, they used to hotspot to my phone.
But once the key is you got it the first time you get it set up, you have to go to, like, I'll call it the retail store, right? You have to go to the the AIS store, and they'll set it up for you. So then basically you've got your Thai number, and once you've got that, as long as time hasn't elapsed. I don't know what that is. Is it 6 months, a year? I don't know what that is, but
6 months, isn't it?
But I'd been back within 3 months, right? So I came back and I was like, well, I'm just going to see if they can just turn it back on at the airport, since I've already got my number, and that was brilliant. That worked out just perfectly, So
yeah, exactly. You got to do things which are easy for you. Like on the telephones, I use True. I pay, I think it's about 1,900 baht a year, unlimited data. I've got a contract. Pride's got a contract, and Anna's got a contract, and it's just easy. It's easy.
Yeah.
It's not. It's for 4G and 5G, but I only use it in 4G. I get fantastic coverage throughout Thailand, no issues whatsoever. And I think that's the thing, isn't it? If you can get, I try and make life easy.
Yeah. And well, to me, it's much easier, right? So, like, in a lot of ways, right? Things are simple and easy in Thailand, right? If you just open your mind to going with the flow, things are great, and not an issue,
Yeah.
And I think all of us just want to step out of the rat race and, and all
like
of that, and just start to relax a little bit.
All the ones who've known, it's where they make it hard for themselves. They're trying to take shortcuts.
Right.
You know, so like they bring money in, then transfer it back out, then transfer it back in again.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't be dealing with all that. I like to make my life simple.
Yep.
When this was a really interesting tale, yeah. So I've heard people say rayon immigration's horrible, blah blah blah, etc. etc.
Mm.
Well, over the 2 years I've been here, nearly, I've built up a relationship with rayon.
Mm-hmm.
So when we come for this year's, when I had to extend my visa, so you're only after the first year, you're only basically extending it every 90 days. Then you have to do an annual application, but you're only doing every 90 days, really.
Yeah, you're checking. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I went down there, and Pry filled out all the paperwork, and I just done the signatures. We was in and out of immigration in 20 minutes, finished, done. Didn't pay any backhanders.
Mm-hmm.
All done. It was like,
Mm-hmm.
there you go. Come and see us in 4 weeks. I turned up 4 weeks later. As we walked in the office, the lady, obviously, because I'm a big guy, you know, you've met me, I'm quite a big guy. So some people get intimidated by my size, you know. So, and I'm aware of that, especially with ties, because a lot of them are a lot smaller. So, but because I've built up this relationship, it's one. I just all I do is I go down, sit down, and I send the wife up, and she does everything for me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's really about the relationships, though, right? Because again,
Yeah.
you know, once people know you and know that you know you're you're a good person, then at that point,
yeah. Because
it's pretty seamless, you know.
Yeah, because you know when you talk about the mad expat, you know, I've heard people go in there and they're ranting and raving, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm just saying to myself in my head, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Just shut the fuck up, because you're making it hard for everybody else.
Right.
Because I've got to see that person after you.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I kind of, you know, I just feel like, in a lot of respects, when people behave that way, it's just really an embarrassment to the rest of us, you know. And,
yeah, because there is no need for it.
Right.
There is no need for it. Like when I got my first visa to come to Thailand, I got a 1 year visa, 1 year O visa, 1 year O visa, yeah, single entry, yeah. So me, soppy bollocks, this is me, stupid. I'm thinking to myself, I've got a 1 year visa. No, I got 90 days. I didn't realise. So I've got to do my 90-day check about 3 days beforehand. And they went, well, you got to leave the country in 3 days. Your visa's run out. And I went, no, I've got a 1 year visa. Because the Thai embassy in the UK told me it was a 1 year visa. No, you haven't got multi-entry. You've got to leave the country. What? You're joking. I don't want to fly anywhere. You know me. I don't want to fly anywhere. And but because I was like, they saw the panic on my face because I was concerned. I didn't say anything. I just went, oh, for God's sake. I think myself, I was just thinking, where do I get a flight from? Because this was still height of COVID.
Sure.
And the gentleman come around the other side, a nice young guy, and he sat down next to me. Yeah. And this is in COVID. Yeah. And he said, he put his hand on me. He said, don't worry. He said, we'll sort this out. That's what he said. Don't worry, we'll sort this out.
Yeah.
I said, but I've got to leave the country. He said, no, it's not a problem. He said, you're going to have to take out a COVID extension. It's like 1,900 baht. And he said, that will give you and he gave me all the forms, spoke to me in perfect English. He goes, these are all the forms. I need you to fill these in, come back, fill these in this week, bring these back, do the extension today, come back, do it. And in a month's time, you have your visa. And that's exactly what I did.
Yeah.
So when he was finished, that day I was in there, I had a ranting Italian in there. Yeah. So I just said to him at the end of the conversation, I said, thank you. I said, cup on cup. Thank you very much for your kindness today. And he said to me, thank you very much, sir, for your politeness.
Absolutely.
You know,
that's right.
So a little bit of politeness goes a long way. So I know a lot of guys that come here, get their year visa and say, right, we're going to do everything online. We're going to do the 90-day check-ins online. But when you do that, you're not building a relationship with your immigration officer.
Right. Yeah.
So when Meow and Jim come, you know, like Meow and Jim, because they was pretty advanced on their visa, and they said, oh, we want to come down to you because you gave such a positive chat about the visa. So and Jim was really stressed out because it ain't the girls who get stressed out, it's us, it's the men.
Right.
Yeah. We get stressed because we're the flang, aren't we? You know, we're always wrong.
Right.
So it's always our fault. So
well, we're a guest in the country, and
yeah, exactly. That's the way it is.
so on and so forth.
But we accept that, and that's fine. You know, and I like being a Farang. I love being a Farang. I love it. So when we done helped Meow and Jim, then they phoned me up after, and they phoned Pry. They said, "Oh, Pry, thank you so much for your help. You know, because you got us through the visa process. It was really easy." And Jim's going, "I don't know why I was so worried, but when you're in that situation, it is a worry."
You're right. Oh, absolutely. Well, especially if it's something new that you haven't been through or experienced before, right? You're already anxious about it, and and so on and so forth. So, but again, there's so much support and expertise and a great community of people. I kind of equate it to like there's this. I don't know if it's a sculpture or work of art, but it's something I refer back to. Like when you're in Thailand, it's like you could be it's like a person in the middle, and they're surrounded by other people, right? And all those other people have their hand on your shoulder, right?
Exactly.
That's the sculpture that I think about when I come to Thailand. Everybody's there to help you, support you through those things to get settled in and all of that. So I just think it's just a great mindset.
Yeah. So when you I know you got to go, but so have I, because it's like 11:15 here. So I know you're going to come over soon. So what are you going to do? Get your visa before you come?
No. So this trip's going to be like another temporary trip, right? I'll be back.
I know it's only temporary, this one.
Yeah, but then again, it's those stepping stones, right? So is it
next year?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I'm kind of, I'm not gonna lie, all the talk of the recession here, has me a little bit worried. I won't say worried, but
concerned.
Does that from a, like, say for example, a housing market perspective, is that going to slow the progress down, of
well, I think
wanting
it already has, hasn't it? I think the housing market's already slowing down in America.
Oh, it absolutely has. But then, the thing about it is it's winter here, right? And so no one's out aggressively house hunting in winter.
They say the housing market slowed down, but they're still selling 4 million a month.
Right. Yeah.
Which is a lot.
Yeah.
It's dropped from 6 to 4.
Yeah. I find that prime house hunting or home sales here, at least in my area, is during the late spring and summer months when kids are out of school, right? So you get into what I would say May through even maybe September. Because again, the summer here when kids are out of school, and a lot of families at that time are looking to, if they're relocating or whatever's going on, they're looking to purchase their home, right? So for me, does that then put me in a situation where I've got to think about alternative things, like, well, if I don't sell my house, does that mean I've got to, then
you can rent it, couldn't you?
Right.
As well, couldn't you?
Yeah, all those things, right? So it's all those decisions, about that. And then do I really want to deal with that? Do I have to hire a property management company to manage it for me? What does that really mean? Because I don't want to be 9,000 kilometers away and have to deal with any of that. So
one, you need, if you're going to do that, you need a really good agent, somebody who's got. But I know you're not just going to get somebody out the yellow pages. You're going to get, you're going to
right.
You'll do your investigation first, won't you?
Well, you've got to do due diligence, right? So I think that goes without saying. But then it's like, do I even really want to?
Yeah, to a lot of people, they don't.
Right? Do I even really want to deal with any of that? That's really what it comes down to, So it's like, well, or do I continue to go back and forth? Like, if the recession
Also, as well,
does,
Mary might want to come to the States as well.
yeah, we've talked about that, and I said, well, we can come, come and obviously she'd come here and visit and whatever, but we're not at this stage in life, right? There's no compelling reason to come here long term, right? So
No.
we're gonna, our plans are being, the groundwork and the plans are laid for, uh, Thailand, and so that's really where where things are going to happen. So no need to plan or commit anything long term here in the States. It's just going to be,
You just got to see how it goes, because let's say next year it's because I can say there's going to be a recession next year, but it's all about probabilities. I honestly believe that the USD would have been 40 by now, but because of probabilities, and those probabilities are like the DXY going down or whatever, then the US dollar losing strength, or the government policies. You can't justify everything. I still think the US dollar is going to go to 40.
Yeah.
But I think we are going to, and a lot of people say that's great, but what they don't realize the implications behind that. Because when it goes to 40, it means there's going to be a lot of people who are going to lose their homes, lose their jobs, and everything else that goes with it.
Yeah. So I mean, thankfully, due to planning and saving and all the other stuff, right? I will say I'm fairly insulated, but the timing of of that, like if I'm going to sell my property here,
do you have a 401?
I've got all the.
So on your 401, do you check the investments on your 401 as
I
well?
do. I check them. I check them quarterly. Yeah.
But do you know other people who just got 401s and they just put the money and they don't even look?
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
It's like an emu with their head in the sand, isn't it? They just don't want to know, do they? They just,
Yeah. And some of those other investment accounts. So between all of that, like I'm not been blessed to be, I won't say recession proof, but I've been okay. So now it's coming down to really, it's like, well,
when
it's more about, okay, now it's like finish up the career here in a, like I said, told you about 18 to 24 months, and then get all that wrapped up.
The job okay? Work okay?
Yeah, work's good. Yeah, work is good.
And the business you're working for, without saying who you're working for, because you know what the situation is. Is that business going quite well since?
It is. Yeah. Yep.
I bet they've had a good Christmas, have they?
Very positive. Obviously the weather's affected business across the fleet this weekend, but that's, to me, that I always call that the rainy day fund, right? Like, weather, we don't control Mother Nature. We don't control the weather. Every year there's every year,
and that's the probabilities as well.
Every year there's a weather event, regardless of timing. Every year there's a weather event, and so the business just, you have to be obviously, prepared for that and have the rainy day fund, right? That's that's just par for the course.
That snow looks spectacular, I have to say.
Oh man, well, I mean, if you're into, if you like. I always use the analogy, from a ski. If I was going to go, I'm not a big skier, right? I've never been into skiing. The snow looks beautiful, but I'd be the guy sitting at the lodge drinking hot chocolate, admiring it from the window. I'm not going to be the guy, out there on the slopes,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's we'll get through this, and like I said, get looking forward to getting back again, and just getting back to see everybody. So it'll be a good time. So
anyway, my friend, I'll let you go.
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing you and Mary in 4 weeks.
Absolutely.
We'll definitely meet up in Prattanack.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Yeah, it'll be
then you have to meet up again with us as well when we go to because you haven't met Ryan yet either, have you? So you got to meet Ryan.
No, it'll be great to. Yeah, oh man, he's a hoot. It'll be great.
Oh, he's fucking. He just makes me. He just cracks me up.
Yeah,
he just cracks me up. He's just a great guy.
Yeah, I'd love to get down your way. I think when we got down into the Nha Tien area, and that stretch of you and I were talking about that stretch beyond that and so forth in the Lanchang, right?
Yeah,
Like,
that Saturday hip is a nice area.
Yeah.
Like where
Matter of
Greedy
fact-
lives.
Yeah,
You-
matter of fact, Mary was just inside a hip recently. They had to go. A group of them had to go do a
Conference.
like a hospital tour visit,
Gotcha.
something along those lines, and they all went down from her hospital down there. So, quite interesting. Yeah. Well, look, brother, I know it's late. I'll let you go. Merry Christmas to you and everybody
And
else
to
in
you.
the chat.
Love from Anna and Pride to you and Mary.
Please give them my hellos, please. Thank you.
Yeah, I will do. They're asleep now, thank God.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's been a good show tonight. Thanks everybody for coming in, and thank you, Jay, for popping on. I really do appreciate it, because doing these shows by yourself, I know Dave can do it. Dave can go on there and he can talk for 3 hours. I can't do it, but anyone who has got a talk in, including Twitch and people, I don't really follow. I'll take my hat off to them when they can go onto a show and talk for 3-4 hours. Unbelievable. I just can't do it. I just prefer it where I've got a panel of people, because I like to hear the different opinions as well, because if not, it just sounds opinionated if you're only hearing mine. And that was the nice thing about talking with Richard tonight. I loved that. It's like talking to you about hospitality, because if you're talking to, and I know you do a lot of IT as well. So when you're talking about IT and the other person, you're both talking about the same profession and you're talking from the same hymn sheet, and you've both got practical, true experience of working, makes a massive, massive difference.
Yeah, sure. Well, again, I think just all the knowledge that's being shared, and especially about, whether it's some of the things we've all been through, life experiences, and or
Thailand. I wasn't expecting that tonight. I wasn't expecting that.
I just think
that threw me out. That threw me totally off the edge.
It's great.
Tonight.
It's great. Great to share it in a safe environment and have those conversations with other like-minded people, and especially as we all think about, for those of us like Richard and myself that aren't quite moved over there full time yet, but are absolutely.
Because
we'll be doing that. So
don't get me wrong. It gets like I done my numbers and I went, I can retire, but it still makes you concerned.
Yeah.
When they're talking about the recession which is coming, and it's this type of recession is coming, it even gets me concerned.
Yeah. Well, it's like an eyebrow raiser, right? You're like, what's that? It's like, you know, and what's that over there that's going on, and how's that going to affect me? But I think at the end of the day, when you do retire, right? So you plan and do the best you can to make all those things happen. You make intentional decisions, right? To plan for the next part of your life. Then it's just like you said, you turn off one income stream and transition into the other.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think as long as you feel good about that.
I think the big thing is when you do it as well, just before you go, just look at your 40. You need to look at your 401. Talk to a financial independent advisor. Don't follow me, because you will be bankrupt. And I've actually been bankrupt in the past. Unfortunately, it was only the banks that lost the money, but there you go. But you need to look at your 401s, and you just need to look at what you're invested in. And what you need to ask your financial advisor is there any chance, what is the chance of 1 to 99, 100%, that figure could go to zero? A bit like that, that Sam Freeman, or whatever his name.
Yeah.
Because there was one, don't get me, my heart's going out to this person. She took her money out of a 401. She put in $2 million into one company, which I'd say is a no anyway, because you're putting all your eggs in one basket.
Right.
Yeah. And now she's lost a lot. Zero. Yeah. So, and that's what I'm saying. So when you do your investments when you're not working, I'm not saying mine's going to be the best investments in the world. They're not, but they're never going to go to zero.
Right. Right.
I'm never going to lose 40% in 1 year.
Yeah.
I'm never going to lose 10% in 1 year.
Mm.
I'm looking at things which stay stable, you know. And like going into next year, well, when I do my show next week, I'll do that. Next week, on next week's show, I'm going to do my investments for 2023.
That'll be
And
great.
when I do that, I'm putting my bloody head on the line there, you know.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like Oprah's favorite things, right? It's going to be like Tom's, you know, Tom's 2023 list. That'll be great. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's just the way the channel's developed, you know. So it's like food. Like now, it's all about food and finance. But that's typical when you're retired, because when you're retired, all we're talking about is what restaurant we're going to, and have you got enough money to live on that month?
Right. Right. Well, you know, it seems, at least in my, you know, small, humble, worldly experience, the people that I know that are retired have become busier in retirement than they were when they were working.
Mate, I was talking to a guy who's working. I know you got to go, and I've got to go. But
It's okay.
I was talking to this guy the other day. He's helping a friend of mine in a hotel, and I was only talking to him for about 40 minutes. And he said, "Do you want a job?" I went, "No, not really. I'm all right. I'm retired." He went, "I could get you some unbelievable advice work. You know, I can't remember what it's called. You know,
Consultancy work.
Consultancy work." He goes, he goes, "I can rent you out as a consultant." And it was just what I was talking to him about. I was only talking about silly stuff, you know. And he said people don't think like that here. He said even the major businesses don't think like that here. He goes, they might have the degrees coming out of university, etc., but they haven't practically worked in the job market, so they don't understand it.
Right. Right.
That's the way it goes.
Yeah.
Jay East,
pleasure.
Fantastic you coming on tonight. Love
Great
you,
to
brother.
see you,
Can't
Tom.
wait to. I
Love you
can't wait
too,
to
man.
see you. I can't wait to see
Love
you
all
again.
you guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
we
Hey,
can't
well,
wait to see you.
pleasure. Have a great evening. Merry Christmas
Yeah.
to all. And
I can leave the stream up tonight so people can watch the replay.
Excellent. All right, Tom. Well, look, great to see you as always. We'll talk to you
Catch you
soon.
later on.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye now.
Well, that was Jay East. Jay East and Mary are just great people, and we know them. And since we've come to Thailand, we have met so many good people. The vast majority of them are Americans. You know, when I lived in Spain, most of my friends were from Spain and from South America and places like that. And here, my friends are. I didn't have a lot of friends, though. I must admit, I've always been one of those people. I've never had a lot of friends, but here, most of my friends here are like Australian or American. But I've got two good friends, which is Gordon Tickle. Please go and visit his channel, Gordon Tickle. Happy Christmas, Gordon. Fantastic channel he does up there. I'm going to come and see you in the new year. And the other one is Brian in Thailand. Love you, Brian. Two great guys. I love those guys. I'd just like to thank, I don't know if it's anyone even in the chat now, really, probably because it's way past where I normally go. But I'd just like to thank everybody for listening tonight. I'd really, really like to thank Richard, and I will send you a note because I really enjoyed the conversation tonight about the nomad and nomad life and coming to Thailand. Yeah, it was very interesting. But anyway, guys, I will be back on next Sunday, which is the 1st of January 2023, and I plan to do some financial forecasting charts and what you should be looking at financially, as in what you should be invested in, what's going to be the best investments for 2023 going up to 2024, what you should be looking at as well going into a recession which is coming. But thank you very much for tonight. Thanks very much, Ryan. Thanks very much, Jay East. Thanks very much, Richard. Thanks very much, everybody who come up into the chat. Great seeing everybody. I'm going off now because I'm going to watch the NFL and I'm going to be staying up all night and I'm going to sleep all day tomorrow. So catch you later, my friends. Bye-bye.